Predacons have conquered the Autobots' home planet of Cybertron. Cybertrons. Cybertrons.
Now returning you to the Children of Primus.
See, I was worried. I was worried that you're gonna pick me up on the mic while we were doing that. Not because I was gonna say things, but because I instinctively start humming along with that beat because it's like really catchy.
Yep.
The thing I can hear is the Cybertrons,
Yeah.
and I hear a little rim shot about it.
Yeah. Just gonna catch
You
me.
got to edit that song
Cybertron.
and get rid of Cybertron and put Children of Primus.
Oh, but it's a jazz sample from the movie, so it's like
Yeah.
thematic.
Still, they
Just
got
out of curiosity, what we were talking about before we went on, Anthony, that box I sent you,
Uh-huh.
that was $28 for me to ship from here in Southern Indiana.
Yeah.
All right, that was pretty heavy.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I'll put this out there for any of you. If you all want to order something from them, from Big Bad Toy Store, and put my address in it, I will forward it from here to there.
Oh my God!
It's knock out that $75 add-on you were talking about.
Yeah.
that'd be awesome.
Wow.
Are you talking about the original box of stuff with the rim light, or like that box of movie stuff you showed off earlier, like a few weeks ago?
Oh,
No, that one that I sent you that had the metal Megatron dinosaur dragon, whatever he was.
Oh yeah.
That transmetal box. I mean, that was a pretty heavy set of stuff that I sent up there. I mean, that box was packed, and I can't imagine it weighed more than. I don't think it would weigh as much as a Titan, but I know it would weigh less than any leader class.
Yeah.
so let me ask you guys something.
That was $28. So
If you went to a store right
you
now,
can have from there, hit me up, and once it gets here, and just get wrapped again and put a new label on it.
all right, if you guys went to a store right now to buy the box set of Transformers V1 the cartoon, how much would you guys pay?
DVD or Blu-ray?
On DVD.
I
how
got
much
them
you
separately
think
back in the day. I'd say maybe $60 to $80. That's like 98 episodes. So that's a pretty significant amount of stuff.
Yeah.
Now it's in 4 sets right now at Walmart in the United States for like $4 a disc.
Yeah.
Get out.
Okay, so
I remember the Rhino video was like $100 at Future Shop for one season. That was crazy.
So I went and bought this weekend, like I said, the oversized Devastated. But I also, in the same town, bought not only the box set, brand new, not even open, still sealed, but also the 3 other seasons from the Japan, and also Armada and Beast Machines full seasons for $20, all brand new, not even open.
Nice.
So like now I got 5 copies of this thing.
We should have a watch party.
Yeah.
Totally, we should.
Oh, we might get like super copyright dinged for that. We've ran into that problem
Oh,
before.
yeah.
Yeah, we're actually going to have a watch party next Sunday, and I believe we're going to try to do it through.
Sorry.
Yeah, we're going to try to do it
Opinionated.
through Discord. So we're going to be live here as usual, but Discord will show the movie.
Are we really doing that, eh?
We're trying it.
What movie?
We watch the movie, the Transformers the movie, cartoon movie, every year Christmas Eve. That's my family's tradition. My kids come over
Lovely.
and bring their families with us, and we sit down in the living room with popcorn and s'mores and get the fire going and Transformers up on the big screen.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been a tradition for 15, 20 years.
Nice.
And ever since my kids were tiny.
That's amazing.
We don't do traditional Christmas in this family either. My house is decorated as the nightmare before Christmas. I've got a 6-foot Jack Skellington and a 5-foot Sally and all the little minions and everything around the fireplace.
I got
We have
those.
black and white. We have black and white
Just-
stuff all over the tree.
Just tell them like Optimus Prime died for your sins, and then you can. It's like,
That's right.
Tie it into the holiday. I don't know.
Well, I do that on Prime Day. On Prime Day, I have a little meme set up, and it's the death of Optimus Prime, where he turns black and everybody's standing around him like that, and it says, "Remember what this day is truly for. He died for you." Like that, and I send that out 4 or 5 times on Prime Day.
Toy World.
Hey, what's going on?
Not too much.
What is going on, Toy War? Did you have a good week?
Oh, it's been a week, all right. That's for sure. Come on.
Oh, I promise you.
There we go.
So, for everyone tuning in, welcome to the Children of Primus's Freestyle Frenzy Sunday, which this week we're going to have a guest from Transformers Liberated Facebook group, Chris Labrador. And before we get into everything, a few of the comments. Professor D says, "Let's go Liberators." Evan Former says, "What's going on?" So, welcome everyone. Shiva Kobe says somebody's clock is slow. So you know us, we're usually just a couple minutes behind, but we're good. And she says, "Here we go." Professor D, also on YouTube, says, "Taking it easy like Sunday evening." And Shiva Kobe says, "In on the ground floor for once." And that is it for the comments for the moment. So yeah, what does everyone else have to say? Because we have Chris coming in shortly.
Yeah. I just wanted to give a shout out to Anime City in downtown Toronto. Anime City! And it's owner, a guy named Julius, I believe. We've met him at TFCon a couple of times. One year he had a booth a couple of, like next to us. That's one of the places I was this afternoon. Didn't get anything Transformers related, but he hooked me up with a Figuarts Common Rider 01, which typically goes for like triple digits, but he had it there for like $60. So I said, hold on to that, and went all the way downtown to get one.
Nice.
And we made a trip out of it. Got a couple other things. Got a little vinyl of the Common Rider from the new movie. And something vaguely Transformers related. I went down the road to the BMV, which sells used books, and got Do a Power Bomb by Daniel Warren Johnson, who is we're about to see the release of the new Transformers #1, which is also written and drawn by him. I heard good things about this one in particular, so I wanted to read something by the guy that's about to do the Transformers comic. It's about wrestling, and it's really good. That's about all I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Anime City, Toronto. It's in the Chinatown Center around Spadina. They have a really good selection of stuff. They have Transformers. They have an eclectic selection of older Transformers in a good way. So yeah, shout out to them and him.
Cool. And we're going to add Chris to the stream. Chris, how are you doing?
Hello, guys.
Hey.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem.
How are y'all doing tonight?
Oh, we're good.
Absolutely
I've
wonderful.
been everywhere.
I'm glad this technology is actually working the first time around. This
Oh, buddy, you should have seen.
That never happens for me.
Oh, dude,
You should have seen the early days of Children of Primus.
I bet. So, well, no, thanks for having me, guys. It's cool to be here.
Cool. So myself is Spin. I'm the host, and with our many co-hosts, Mr. Magnus, who always speaks highly of your group. We got Freakenstein, who's also one of our members. Deceptikitty, another one of our newer members. Fear of Courage, what longtime member, also writes our weekly reviews on different figures he gets. The Stephen Bock Arts, one of our members, and Toy Warp Vintage Reviews on YouTube, another member of ours.
Awesome. Nice to meet you all, guys.
Same to you.
It's got some kind of a face other than the piss Magnus.
This is important.
I'm a member from Liberated.
Hang on.
I'm going to just distract everybody for a second. This is my new kitten. Her name is Capicolo.
I'm pretending to rub her belly.
Oh.
There you go.
Yeah, I talk about the manhammer and the piss Magnus all the time on here.
I got a little paper one that one of the guys in the group sent me the other day. I bought something off of him, and he was just kind enough to throw that in there, which was really freaking cool. That was a nice little surprise there. So he's staying up on the shelf forever.
Nice.
So,
She's too good for all of you.
Good times.
Having this entrance, pulling up robots like a bunch of nerds.
That was Jess Riley, everybody.
Nerds.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, puppy dog too.
Calvin Carpenter, one of our other longtime members, who's over on Facebook, is saying another bobcat.
Yeah, her name is Capicolo to go with pepperoni. So we call her Cappy.
Nice.
Very cute.
And who's the puppy?
Yeah,
This is my sister's dog, and it's her new addition to her family.
Oh,
She's very cute. Her name is Zaina.
Zaina.
Yeah.
Hello, little baby.
Cool.
My cats are not allowed on this floor, so no. I'll send you pictures.
Yeah, not after the Slave 1 incident.
They'll be swinging off that Unicron in a hurry.
Yeah.
So, Chris, welcome and thank you for joining us tonight.
I appreciate you having me.
Cool. So, as you know, I know all of us will have many questions. As first question is, how long have you been an admin, or how long has the group existed?
We have been around for about 7.5 years now. So yeah, it's been quite a wild ride. I keep checking in on it daily, just to see kind of where we're at. But yeah, we are closing in on 10,000 members, which is cool. We would have been there a long time ago had we not been as picky as we are. We had we kind of are big on weeding them out as they go. We're not just going to let everybody and his brother in. Yeah, we're 25 away from 10,000, which is pretty dang cool. So we're pretty excited about that.
That's big.
But we turn away over 50% of the people that apply to join the group just because of people don't know how to follow directions. It is what it is. So it's like you can't do what you need to do to gain entry into a group. You're not going to be probably a great member to have. So we want to have.
What's the criteria?
Well, answer the questions, check the box, agree to the rules. That's too much to ask. Too much.
Yeah, that's pretty bad if you can't manage that.
It's too much to ask.
You're just a dick.
And then have a profile that's at least 2 years old. That's the other thing. We want to make sure that nobody's just jumping in, setting up their Facebook on, Tuesday after getting booted, the day before. So it's not unreasonable, as far as that goes, but it seems like it's unreasonable to a lot of people. So it is what it is. So we just kind of roll with it, and we're going to grow responsibly and make sure we make it the best group that we can. So we're not just going to let every bot and, AI and everything like that, under the sun to just join us at any time they want. So, it works out pretty well.
All right, cool. And I didn't even think about that in terms of someone not getting in the group and then just creating a whole other name and stuff. And really at that point, that's a different mindset of like someone just having way too much time on their hands to be malicious in a sense.
It's amazing the lengths people go just to be a pain. It's like they got nothing better to do. And, I don't know. We even get people who come in under their normal name. They come into the group and then, weeks or months later, who knows how long, they go and change their name to something completely different or completely nonsensical. And so we find those periodically too. And we clean them out because it's like, dude, if you're not going to be forthcoming about who you are, it totally flies in the face of, us being able to do a reliable group that is, able to fight, effectively against, scamming and against scalping and against all kinds of other stuff. So it's, we're just, we try not to, we're very laid back when it comes down to it. I got a reputation because I don't put up with people's junk, and that's fine. I don't care. I got a thick skin. I deal with people for a living and it's all good, but I'm not going to apologize for running a good group. And so, that's if people have a problem with that, I can live rent free in their mind all they want. And,
so
it's
what
all
about
good.
this? What about people that are trying to copy your page? Because right now I'm dealing with somebody that basically, a couple months ago, I started my channel, and about a month ago, he comes and like I freely talk with everybody, and says, "Oh, what are you doing? How are you doing this?" Blah 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 blah. And I gave him some information. I told him some stuff, and then I do something different on YouTube that people don't do. I'm pretty sure I'm the first one to do this, but I do Transformer toy trivia, where I'm asking the audience what's the toy's name and what company that made it, because obviously there's more than Hasbro, and obviously there's more than one name, right? So now like this guy's doing the same type of situation, and it's like every time I put out a video, he's putting out something similar, and it's like, what is going on here, man? Like, I helped you, and now you're doing this.
I'd be having words. I'd be having words at that point.
Where's my hacker buddies out there? Because I need someone to destroy a computer.
No, like in your case, I mean, I think it's like it's tough because it's like it's not a lot of moving parts as far as something to copy or emulate. And while it's what do they say? I can't think of the phrase. Imitation is the highest form of flattery, but then you cross a line whenever it becomes like, okay, well, they might get you once in a while as far as, duplicating something you do or having something that's a little too similar. But whenever they start doing it all the time, that's when it starts getting all real fast.
But that's the thing. Every time I put out a video, he's putting out something exactly similar now. And it's like,
not okay.
Bro, you can't be me. I am the only Freakenstein that will ever live.
Right.
You cannot beat me. You cannot do me. You cannot beat me.
Right.
Sorry.
It's better than I'm actually taking your videos. I had somebody do that on my channel. I uploaded a movie, and it was the second time the guy complained, on two separate videos, and on the movie he complained that the aspect ratio wasn't right. Well, it's a really, really old movie, So after he complains, he literally ripped the video off my channel and put it on his channel with all my branding still in the video. What? And he didn't fix the aspect ratio. He fixed nothing and put it on his channel. Like, dude, what are you doing?
All publicity is good publicity, so that's how it goes. So keep as long as he keeps the logos up there, he's just advertising for you,
I guess.
So, who was the one that said I wasn't going to get monetized this year? Because I'm telling you right now, I only need 130 more hours of watch time, and I'm getting monetized. So.
Nice. That's awesome.
Someone out there said it, but I bust my butt and I'm doing it.
That's great. Congratulations.
Maybe you said it and you manifested it for yourself.
Well, I got this motto in life. There is no can't. There's just not trying. So if you do, you can do. Period. So that's how I live my life. That's what I do. And I made it a goal that I was going to at least get 500 subscribers this year. And within 5 months, I've already got those 500 subscribers. So, you know, I'm doing something right by just being me.
That's a killer rate. It really is.
Yeah, and you know what? I have to congratulate our subscribers. So right now we're at 202. So we're trailing second place to Freakenstein. But you know, again, thank you to everyone that subscribed to our channel. Cause you know, it's basically ourselves and a few other channels I found like during the pandemic, like we just decided let's just start a channel for fun and just have conversations about Transformers. And it's not a you know, no type of egos or anything of like trying to take down channels. Just it grows, you know, on its own. What's the word for it? It just grows organically, you know, and it just takes its time. And you know, we're just having fun with it. But going back to you, Chris, I've noticed. I noticed while promoting this stream in a few of the other groups, it did stir a few people the wrong way, which I found interesting because most times sharing stuff, I find most groups all have kind of like that same friendly atmosphere where everyone just gets along with each other, and it's rarely the odd time you find, you know, an argument, and it's usually done quickly. But I did read one comment where someone just, you know, had a disagreement with you, but they still supported your decision in terms of why you know, whatever that disagreement was about. You know, in a sense, saying that you run a tight ship, which is needed.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, the whole idea, I mean, the whole reason the group was created in the first place, you know, over 7 years ago, there was kind of an event, if you will, and I'm not going to get into specifics, but you know, there was an event that kind of split the fandom a little bit, and I feel strongly about this hobby. I feel strongly about, you know, being able to share this hobby with people that actually want to be shared with and to share themselves as far as that goes. And there are other folks that just want to screw around and just be idiots online because they can be. And some of these folks I know in person, and they're great people in person, but they act like fools online because they can. And it's like, God, I don't have time for that. You know, it's like, so that's basically Louis Chanity was the guy that set up Liberated in the first place. And I didn't know him ahead of time. He just kind of showed up in my inbox one day. He's like, hey, you've got opinions and want to run a group? Okay, cool.
Everybody has
so we just kind of did that. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, yeah, you got opinions and principles, and it's all good. And, you know, so we had about four admins. You know, or us two were the admins, and then we had added a couple mods to the group, and then we grew the group within a few years to about 5,000, and that's when we added a few more. And so, yeah, and everybody's on the same page. You know, like we're just basically, you know, we created the group so that we can have people have a safe space to share their collections, be themselves, do their business, and do so in such a way that, you know, you can't filter out 100% of the riffraff. You know, it's impossible to do. But if you jump on it in a hurry whenever it pops up and do so in such a way, I mean, my philosophy is, and people are going to act like fools. If they're going to act like fools, then you know what? We're going to let them know that it's not okay in a strong way. And sometimes that sticks with people, and a lot of times they act like they don't care that they just got the can. But you know, then they shoot me a message after the fact telling me, well, you know, what they think of my mother and all that, and it's like, awesome, that's fantastic, thanks guys, appreciate you showing your true colors, and I'm glad I got rid of you. So you know, that's it just cracks me up because it's like, you know, if you do something wrong to one of my group members, I'm going to remember your name because I don't want you any part of anything we do, because I want to protect the people that it's our job as admins. And honestly, you know, to Freakenstein's earlier point, you know, it's like, what happens if somebody copies what you do and all that stuff? I mean, they're welcome to. I would welcome the opportunity to have 100 Transformer Liberateds on Facebook because it would be a fantastic freaking thing to have. But unfortunately, there's not that many admins out there that are willing to put in, you know, the work and have the principles that we have to make sure that, you know, it does what it needs to do. And so it is what it is, and we'll take it. So we're happy to be where we're at. We're happy to be growing, and got a problem with me, that's fine. But you know what? There's a lot of folks out there too that have gotten, they've gotten on the wrong side, and they've dealt with the consequences. But then they message me after the fact, and they're like, you know what, dude, I'm sorry, man, I screwed up, and we're happy to give them another chance. And like, we're not unreasonable. It's like it's always, more often than not, unfortunately, it's just people not willing to take responsibility for their own actions, and they want to blame somebody else. Yeah, that's it. It's the way it goes. And you know what? I'm laid back in that regard. It's like, if you're going to be cool about it, I'll give you another chance. I won't give you a third.
Chris. Whatever, man. Hey, you know what? Rumble is red and Frenzy is blue.
Oh God, I get tired of seeing those Freds.
Oh, we're not even going to comment there. I'm not even going to.
And and then what is it? The Cyclonus, was he Skywarp or Bombshell? That's the other one. Groups are like, no, don't post that.
I'm of the Cyclonus.
Or if you read Marvel UK, Life Spark.
There you go. Yeah, I haven't been big on the comics, but you know what? I looked at the movie. I'm like, I'm a true believer that Cyclonus is Bombshell. We're gonna leave it at that.
Dilly came on and said it was Skywarp.
You know what?
Really?
I don't even know. Skywarp?
Yeah. Somewhere along the line,
No.
it was Skywarp. Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, it was usually
was
one
this
or the
his
other.
intention,
but-
or was he making a statement after the fact?
No, it was years later. I mean, this was after the latest anniversary thing. It's on YouTube somewhere. You can look it up. But it was after the latest anniversary edition DVD, whatever we're up to, 35, 40, 35. 35.
Nice. So yeah, that's kind of where we're at. It's like, we're gonna be the way we do the things the way we do, and be the way we are, and some people will get along with that. Some people get on board and they realize why we do what we do, and others won't. Hey, that's cool. That's cool. No sweat. Everybody there's a place for everybody on the internet for sure. So,
And
unfortunately,
the thing that cracks me up the most is when the person seals themselves in the coffin, when they've drove the last nail in, and either they rage quit themselves or they get kicked off, and then they start direct messaging Chris. And he's like, check this douchebag out. And he just throws it all back out to us.
I mean, it's part of the draw, is what I understand. My thing is, it's like, if you want to be that way, it's like you gotta know whatever you put out there on the internet, it's public, and if you want to act that way, I have a lot of other admins and other groups and stuff like that I do respect. They run other groups. I want to give them the opportunity to see who they have in their groups. If they want to run things the way they want to run things and keep them in there, hey, whatever. It's their place. It's like, it's my house. It's your house. We all run our houses differently. And, like, I try to be, when I'm in another group, I try to be respectful about how they run their show. And I just tell people all the time, I always have my little PSAs that I'm famous for in the groups, but being part of a group, being part of a Facebook group, whether it's my group or it's me and somebody else's group, it's a privilege. It's not a right, and the admin can boot you out for any reason, because you wore a green shirt today, doesn't matter. Okay, that bothered them, they can kick you out, and there's nothing you can do about it. It's stupid, but what are you going to do? It's a Facebook group. It's not the end of the world. So it is what it is.
Spandex, it's a privilege, not a right.
I'm really glad nothing like that happens online.
Facebook groups are not the right of all sentient beings.
No.
Well, it's funny from everything that you're speaking. It reminds me of a few things and then creates a couple questions. Because I've only been in Transformers Facebook groups maybe 5, possibly 6 years, if that. And just joined a couple of them and then slowly joined some more before even starting our own group. And there were 2 that I do remember, like, from years ago. One where the admins were just basically fighting everyone, and to the point there was one point basically the admins were fighting each other and blocking each other, and it was just complete chaos. Like,
it sounds entertaining.
Yeah, I think the group just imploded after. Like,
what else could happen at that point? Like, honestly, that's insane.
Yeah, and another one, they just I mean, they were friendly and somehow just kind of went left field and just, you know, again, like, whoever was subscribed to them just ended up leaving and stuff. Like, it really fell apart. But to one of the things you were saying, and it reminds me of I guess it would tie into another question after, but in terms of what you're saying, some people that you know personally, like, they have, you know, this online persona that's different from how you know them in person. And
yeah,
I'm surprised of that, especially within our generation. Like, how we are, you know, online on the phone, that's who we are in person. Like, there isn't this online persona, like, for no apparent reason.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, you've heard, like, in wrestling, like, kayfabe, you know, it's like, don't break kayfabe. It's like that persona, that wrestling persona when you're out in public, that sort of thing. It just, it feels like that to me with a lot of these guys. It's like, you know, I'm you know, people misunderstand me sometimes where they're like, oh, you know, you're running your group the way you run it, you're on a power trip, you know, that sort of thing. I'm like, no, I don't care about you. You know, if you're going to misbehave, then bye. I'm going to, you know, go eat my lunch and go to bed or whatever, go take a nap, whatever. And I'm not going to think twice about you.
Yep.
You know, if you're going to act that way. I just want to run a good group and a group that people can feel confident in. And you got to do what you got to do to make that happen sometimes. And my guys in the group are willing to do that, and we all get along great. I mean, we have this chat that goes, I mean, it just never stops, you know. And, you know, like Lewis and I, Lewis is the quiet guy in the background that started the group. He barely ever comments on anything, but he's on top of it when it comes to, you know, clearing out the dead wood. And, you know, he and I, in 7.5 years, I don't think we've had one misunderstanding or, you know, being at odds with each other or anything. I mean, we just, like, we're on the same page, and we've brought in, thankfully, a few more guides that are all also on the same page. So that takes a lot of the stress off of us, and it's all good. So that's what you need, you know, at the end of the day, to run a decent group. Right. And so we're happy to have it. I'm honestly, I can't believe how much it's grown and what a big part it is of a lot of people's, you know, Transformers life as far as it goes. And that's something that we take great pride in. And, you know, it's something that's really important to us and makes us feel good that we can provide that. So
nice.
Quite a few pieces in this spring from Transformers, from you, Chris.
From me. Yeah, I know I sent you a few. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You've been a repeat customer.
I got all those tech specs that I was showing you all a few weeks ago. I got those from Chris. In fact, they're in that shot. Switch cameras here.
That's awesome. Yeah, no, it's pretty cool. I mean,
see,
like, I bought and sold stuff. I
underneath.
buy stuff, and there it is. There they are. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, I buy and sell stuff all the time. I mean, because space is a premium. It's limited, so, you know, it is what it is. But I've sold to hundreds of people in the group, so everybody has my address too. So I want to make sure I'm on everybody's good side that I can be. They don't know where I live, so it's all good.
Well, you know what? It's tying into another question that I have. The fact, in a sense, your group is somewhat an extension of, you know, of my, say, many other groups that I know of, including the one that we have, where you deal with the buy and sell and trading. So I guess there has to be a lot more scrutiny involved, so people aren't ripping each other off. I guess for, you know, to jump in, someone who's either new into Transformers or they could have been a fan for many years, what should they look for if they're buying, selling, or trading from someone in say a Facebook group or even online in general?
Oh, there's a number of factors. You know, how new is their profile? Just what's your gut tell you? You know, most people, they can say, you know, with certainty, if they think they're dealing with somebody who allegedly, based on their profile, is from, you know, 2 states away, but they're not, you know, that like they're not speaking proper English or what have you. There's a lot of times where there's a lot of different things going on there that doesn't add up. Use your common sense as far as that goes. And when I tell people all the time in the groups, message us, message the admins. If there's any doubt in your mind, any question mark whatsoever, message us. Chances are we know. I mean, Lewis and I were also admins of Quintesson it's a group called Quintesson Imperial Magistrates, and it's a private group for admins only that we share scamming information as far as who's a scammer, who's misstepped in other groups, that sort of thing. And it's been a very good, useful tool to kind of make sure that admins know who not to let into their groups and stuff like that. But, like I said, if you don't know the person, like I always tell people, always protect yourself. If you're buying something, use goods and services so you can have recourse if something goes wrong. Yes. Heck, even with trades, you know what? Do a PayPal goods and service exchange with each other. If I'm trading you something that, and you're trading me something and the value is roughly about $100, we pay each other goods and services $100. So we're not out any money, each one of us, but each one of us does have recourse. We can file a claim if we don't get the item that we were promised. Right. And so, it's not just in the wind and that's that. It's like so many people. And I get it. It's like you want to be trusting. We're all a community. Everybody seems so nice, especially when they're trying to do business with you. But that's what they count on, unfortunately. And I've seen so many cases where people message me and they go, yeah, I think I've been had. And it's like, why did you do that? Why did you just send $400 friends and family to this dude that you've never done business with and you never even bothered asking me or any of the other admins if anybody knows of them, or just post it up on the group? I mean, we approve those messages all the time. Hey, has anybody done business with so-and-so? About any vouchers? Do it. We encourage it because it's like at the end of the day, you got to be safe. You got to have a backup plan if something goes wrong, because I've seen it so often where, this stuff, it feels like it's your life. It's not your life, but it feels like it's such an important piece. And I've seen so many guys that they'll go and they spend their rent money on this stuff, which is absurd. But and then to get scammed on top of it, to not have any recourse, have nothing to show for it when it's all said and done, and then they're in trouble. Wow. Don't do that stuff. It's like we're here to help. We actually do want to help everybody who needs the help. And worst case scenario, easiest thing you can do, just post a post. Somebody somewhere has dealt with this individual, especially in a group that has 10,000 people. That's, we try very carefully to have 10,000 actual people and not just like bots and spam bots and all kinds of stuff in there. So just do it. That's the best advice I can give. Ask questions. The more questions you ask, the more likely it is you're going to trip up somebody that, the biggest problem we've been having lately are people like profiles that look straight up legit. And, we're letting them into the group. And then we're finding out that, Sally Smith, who is, a soccer mom from Wisconsin, suddenly has a G1 blue Bacchus that she's looking to sell. It's the rarest damn thing on the planet. Jeez. And and then they're messaging everybody, who has an in search of post. Oh yeah, PM me. I got that one. No, you don't. That's the telltale as well. It's like whenever you see the same person suddenly just showing up in everybody's messages on the group. So we try to take a look at those too, especially the in search of posts. So those are on our radar, just to say, hey, you know what, and I tell people too, when you see somebody, when somebody says, hey, I've got that, have them send you a picture, with their name on it, that sort of thing. Hey, they can't, they don't have it. Run away, let us know about it. We block them, get them out of the group, done. End of story. And we've done that a bunch of times.
The biggest red flag I get is when somebody fights you over wanting to do GNS.
Oh, okay. Run away.
Oh, we're going to do. Oh, would you mind doing that, friends and family, this time? I'm kind of tight right now. Well, I don't mind paying the fee.
Yeah,
I'll put the fee in, but I'm going to be secured.
Exactly right. Exactly right. They fight you on it, you run the other way.
What about people like me that bleed Energon, but my Facebook page does not show that I am into Transformers as much as everybody else's page that I've seen?
As far as what, entering the group?
Yeah.
So let's put it this way: if you applied to join the group under the name FREAKENSTEIN, yeah, I'd know you. But before this evening, you'd probably not get approved.
Yeah. So that's what I'm
just
saying.
because of that.
Like,
Yeah.
I've been waiting on a few groups, and because my Facebook is my real name and it's not FREAKENSTEIN, and it doesn't show all the stuff about Transformers that I'm into.
Yeah.
They have not approved me, and I'm like, you know, I bleed Energon just like you guys. So, like, what is going on here? you know,
every group admin has their different methods or their different processes as far as, you know, going through and vetting profiles as far as that goes. I mean, honestly, like I'll open up profiles pretty often, and, you know, generally if I see anything Transformers and it fits the other criteria, like it's at least 2 years old and it's a real name, they have a profile picture and all that stuff, then they can come in. You know, we'll take the chance and let them in, that sort of thing. You know, even if it's not, I mean, if it's all G.I. Joe, whatever, you know, that's fine. Just follow the rules. We don't want you to sell your G.I. Joes in our Transformers group. So, you know, that's all there's to it. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Well, keep a lookout for my profile. You might have to scroll down to see my videos, but
all good.
you know.
All good. Come aboard.
Cool.
All right.
Brent McGee on YouTube. Welcome, Brent. It's a group. I've gotten so many good things from the group. Great vibes.
I know that guy. He's bought a few things from me too.
I actually quit a group because, like you said, you know, all of a sudden they're coming up with like the most rare stuff. Oh yeah, I've got that. You know, PM me. I was in another group like that, and I made a post about it, like, hey, watch out for these guys, they're scammers. And the admins of the group came in like, whoa, wait a minute. First off, that's our job. Second off, you know, where's your proof? I'm like, what do you mean proof? No one has what they're selling. No one has that anymore. It doesn't exist. It's a unicorn. It doesn't exist. So
right.
You know, you tell me.
I mean,
I quit the group.
To your point, there's a lot of admins out there that are going to get, you know, they're going to kind of, you tried to pee on their fire hydrant. And they take offense about it and the whole thing. You know, it's like, hey, you know, if you got somebody that, you know, if your goal like ours is to make the group safer, then bring it. Bring me all the information you got. You know, people say, hey, I might have a scammer here for you. I'm like, hey, shoot me some screenshots. What do you got? Okay, great. Out, done. And move on to the next thing. Because honestly, 10,000 people in a group, I don't have time. I mean, I got a job. I got 3 kids. I got a wife. You know, we have lives outside of Facebook. You know, it doesn't feel like that sometimes, but we do. And so efficiency is key. So it's like, and I'm not going to sit there and make apologies for it. If somebody does call me up and say, hey, you know what, you made a mistake, I'll look into it. I'll take the time to look into it. That's all good. But 99 times out of 100, it's like, okay, get out, done, move on to the next thing. And it never comes back again as being an issue. So.
Well, and I don't recall which group, because just being within a handful of them is like the odd instances that I do recall. And I do recall one instance of one member scamming another member. But then looking at their profile, it seemed pretty real to the point like it's, you know, the actual person, their name, family pictures, you know, listing where they work. And I'm like, well, you have all this public information. Why are you going and scamming other members? Like, you know, it's not a fake profile. We know who you are. Like, what kind of drives someone to do that?
Well, I mean, it's possible you know, life situations change. It's possible they're just not that smart and they don't cover their bases. I mean, you know, I've learned some lessons myself as far as privacy on the internet and all that stuff, you know, especially being, you know, high profile within my group and everything. You know, it's like, okay, well, I don't have to put that information out there, that sort of thing. But the other thing, too, that we're noticing a lot of, too, is there's a lot of sophisticated, you know, bots out there on Facebook that are actually able to take over people's profiles and act like them, you know.
How they're doing it, too.
Yeah, you know, and it's like I had one that showed up in another group that took all my pictures from a sales post, including all the text. My text from a sales post as well, and just totally replicated my sales post under this person's name. And it was interesting because the name struck me as a familiar scammer's name from years past. It just, it's like one of those things that just kind of sticks in the back of your mind, and you hear the name, you go, oh yeah, that's a bad, that rings a bad bell as far as that goes, that sort of thing. And that's what it did for me, but I wasn't 100% sure because the name was a little different. But then too, it was one of those things where I'm like, hey, that could be a legit person that just happened to, lose their password, and a bot gets in and does its thing. And so, you never know. And honestly, at the end of the day, it's not even worth it to waste time worrying about it. You just clean it out. And if they're legit, they'll show up again. They'll talk to an admin. They'll do what they need to do to, get on the good side of everybody again, and just say, hey, you know what, guys, I got hacked. It is what it is. So.
Cool. Now, before I get into any other questions from everyone else, just want to make a quick rundown of some other upcoming streams that we have. So next week Sunday, we're actually going to have artist Stan, who's done the extended cut for the Transformers movie. And then on September 24th, we're going to attempt to do our watch party of the Transmutators movie. And October 22nd, we're going to have a Bot versus Con, which is also another YouTube channel. And then also along the way, we spoke to that toy guy. So he's also going to be another possibility within the month of October,
possibly
November. So I guess, going back, or actually,
wait, you're missing one thing.
What am I missing?
On September 13th, my birthday, my brother, he's a fantastic artist. He is going to be doing, Spin, do you remember what the website's called there? I forget. It's like an auction website. He's going to be drawing live Transformers and auctioning them off. I forget what the site is, but we're going to try to live stream that on my birthday at 11 o'clock.
Oh, the website is called whatnot.com, and it's going to be a live, but I'll put in the link within the groups and everything, because we did, in terms of logistics, we did figure out that we're going to be able to stream it for this Wednesday, as you mentioned.
Great. Because so this is something very new to my brother. He's drawn nothing but Marvel and DC and crossovers of different things. His whole life, he's been a graphic designer for the last 10 years. He's also been to Sheridan. He's done stuff for like movies, like Looney Tunes Back in Action, all kinds of stuff. He's legit artist, and you're gonna see something real nice. He's gonna do something real nice, and we'll be able to auction, bid on it as he's drawing it.
Cool.
So that's all I gotta say. Sorry, guys.
Well, for all the other members, who has any questions for Mr. Chris, and also a comment from Facebook from Manny Bonet. Did I miss the talk about scalpers? Well, we've you haven't missed it, because the topic has been kind of intertwined within everything we're speaking on. But I do have another question for Chris. But does anyone else have any questions first? And welcome, Charlie. I see you hiding over there.
My question is, what are you going to ask him?
Good question.
Okay, I guess one question is, what is some of the craziest stories that you remember from the group?
Oh gosh, there's, I don't know about crazy stories. Just there's just the ever so often crazy person, that comes in and just does their thing, and they're just acting like they're entitled. They can do whatever they want. They can whatever, and it just, we don't put up with it. We have some fun with them. It's like a cat with a toy, and then we sweep them off the table, and that's pretty much the game as far as that goes. But that's part of why I think a lot of folks like to come into into Liberated. They feel like they're they're going to be safe there. They're going to be looked after as far as, doing their business and everything. And they're going to get a little bit of entertainment on the side. So, that's what it is.
There's at least 5,000 people there with each one of them having a different meme of either popping out of lawn chair or eating popcorn, waiting for the scammer or the scalper to come up and start putting stuff in.
That's it.
Because usually they're real easy to spot, but whenever they let one to come in for us to just jump on and feast,
yeah,
it's great. I hate it whenever it happens while I'm at work and I come in and there's already 400 comments on it. Like, damn, he's already gone.
That means you could just sit there and take your sweet old time just reading through them all. It's great. It's great.
Yeah.
But I love when they argue about, like we have our set, like we're talking about scalpers, just for Manny's point there. If we talked about scalpers yet, we have our in-group definition of what we view as scalper. And that's basically anybody who takes a currently available item off a store shelf like Target or Walmart, preventing a local from having access to it in order to even make $1. It doesn't matter. It's like, heck, we're even stopping right now approving posts for people that are just going into a store and just randomly picking stuff up that nobody asked for. It's like, hey, anybody need this? It's a waste. It's like, just let the local kids get a crack at it, for crying out loud. Yeah, if one of your friends says, hey, I really need this one and I'm looking for it and none of my local stores have it, do it in PM and you're good to go. Great. But people are like, well, that's not what scalping is. I'm like, yeah, here it is. So, it's like you don't really have a leg to stand on when you're in the group, and that's what all the admins are. We're all on the same page as far as what we believe that to be, and it is what it is. So we just, laugh at you and send you on your way.
Mm-hmm.
They were asking me earlier what was the biggest ones that were being scalped over the last couple of years, and so I got these out with a month there. That's what I put for the presentation. The 86 Grimlock, Motormaster, Jetfire, Cosmos is special.
Yeah, Cosmos is special.
Cosmos
never
was
seen a Cosmos.
$40 the day after he was released.
That's Cosmos is one that I actually got lucky, and one of my friends in the group found it for me for cost. I have never seen that one on the hook. Never ever seen that one on the hook. I mean, I picked up Grimlock, I picked up Motormaster, I picked up Jetfire, no sweat. But yeah, Cosmos was a weird one, and now they're off the shelves basically, and so now it's kind of whatever fair market dictates, and it makes people mad, but like we'll go off of what are current sales levels on eBay sold listings, because it's the best way to just show what the market will bear for that particular figure. It is what it is. That's fine. So I just tell people, I'm like, look, a matter of fact, I'll just be straight with you. We're not messing around. This is how we do it. If you don't like it, cool, great. There's other groups out there for you. If you want to make a fuss about it, we'll kind of point you in the right direction. So, but yeah, good stuff.
So Manny on Facebook says, exactly, I saw 6 Optimus Primes 106s at Target and left them there because I already had one.
Yeah, that's Rise of the Beasts Optimus. That seems to be like it's going to be a popular target / already is one for scalping.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, somebody has to approve my post, because that's one thing that I like about Liberated is you can't just make a post. You make a post and it gets submitted, and then one of the admins has to approve the post.
Right.
And I was telling some of the guys before we went live, I live within 30 minutes of like 6 Walmarts, but I don't live in those towns. So when I'm in that town, I'm doing my shopping and stuff like that, and we always start at Walmart, and if it's stocked, I take a picture. I'm like, hey, anybody need anything? I'm in town for 3 hours. And usually it goes up, and I've had people say, oh, man, can you grab that? Just recently, somebody sent me a PM, hey, can you grab that cloud cover for me? And we'll work it out. Yeah, contacted them back, and it's what it's going to cost me plus shipping. From where I'm at, I can damn near send to anywhere in the continental United States for $9. That's California, Florida, Maine. I've sent to everyone. My area has one scalper who does kind of go down through there like this. And he just rakes everything into his basket. And I know him personally, and I've wanted to throttle him a few times. But I have taken stuff out of his basket, and I'm a big enough guy that he can't do it.
Just a power move. Just walk by, take a thing out.
That's right.
What are you gonna do?
Right.
What are you gonna do? That's it.
Are you gonna fight me?
Look him right in the eye and establish dominance.
You're doing God's work there. So yeah, there you go.
That's right.
But
yeah,
you know
he's got a trade show booth here in town. He's going to. I'm not going to say his name. I'm not going to slander him on top. I know him personally, but yeah, he's shaking.
Well, one of our other members,
shame.
One of our other members who's watching on Facebook tonight, he's also come across many scalpers and situations, and I know in terms of the definition of scalpers, some people support it where it's like it's basically just business. Like, I'm finding a resource that people need, or want. I'm reselling it back to them. But then others would be like, well, no, it's an unfair practice. But at the same time, have you ever, I guess, noticed or I guess seen how the group works out in terms of the distribution of certain toys within the market, and the unavailability for people to get it? Because like for instance with Cosmos, I don't recall anyone over here in Canada seeing any of the Cosmos. And
never.
One of our other members, a Toyfax, who isn't here at the moment, he was looking for the Galaxy Shuttle, couldn't find him anywhere in his location, and he's in Washington, D.C. But I just happened to be going through a Walmart, saw two of them on the shelf, and I'm like, hey, I'll pick them up for you, and mail them over to him. But again, it's that thing, people will post, hey, there's a certain character, there's like 20 of them on my shelf, but no one over in this coast can even get one of them. So then does that also create that scalping issue of like, well, here's 20 of them, I can buy all of them, sell them for whatever I want, because I know you guys in that coast can't get a copy of them.
Right. And it's a case by case thing. I mean, the way we nothing is carved in stone. Nothing is, there's no absolutes. There's always an exception to every rule as far as that goes. And so we try to do it as case by case as you can. It seems to me, just in my experience, that the stuff that's been really, really scalpable is showing up like in very few locations, relatively speaking. Like they're and that's the whole point. That's why it's able to be scalped for many times over its normal retail price. But as far as the group is concerned, I mean, one of the main reasons it's there is for members to help each other, and so that's key. That takes some precedence over other things. Obviously we got to keep it in check, and that just means just having a hand on the wheel and making sure that nobody's taking advantage. And because sometimes people just don't know where that line is, and so you do what you got to do, and you just kind of keep an eye on it. And thankfully we have a group of great guys that are always in many different time zones that are somebody's usually awake to make sure the riffraff is kept at bay.
Nice. So one quick comment from Facebook says, if you resell at retail, then I see it as a service. If you jack up the price 2-3 times, that's just wrong.
Yeah, I mean that's in general. Yeah, I'm with that. But it's also case by case too, because then you get a lot of folks. Again, it goes back to the people who are willing to argue with you about what scalping is, and they'll sit there and go, well, I got my G1 Optimus Prime back in 1984 for $49.99, so you should sell it to me for that price. No, it's worth a little more than that now. So, there's stuff that's out there that, are, definitely worth more. And there's stuff that's out there that just maybe they might be recent releases, but they're just not on the shelves anymore. So, I would say, well, hey, go out to your Walmart and grab one. Oh, wait, you can't. Okay, well, then we have to go with what the going rate is on sold listings on eBay for that sort of thing. And there's no real set, okay, it's 3 weeks after the release date, or it's 3 months after the release date. there's no real set rule as far as that goes. It's just you gotta feel it with your gut with each individual release and go from there. You know, I had a guy in the group just the other day that basically got laughed out of the group because he tried to sell a black the all black Leo Prime that just came out, the Nemesis Leo Prime, for double retail. And like, dude, there's 9 of them at my Target right now. I can literally walk down to Target and buy a shopping cart full of them. What are you doing? Right. And he's like, "Oh, I'm just here to make my money, man." I'm like, "Who the hell's gonna buy that thing? Get out of here!" And so
you have mine. Just pay for the shipping.
Take it back.
Honest to God.
Take it back to your Walmart. Take it back to your Walmart and get your money back.
Exactly right.
He's doing a public service by removing them from the shelves.
Oh, right. Exactly. Yep. Yeah, that was the other argument that I got. Is like, oh yeah, Target really appreciates him for taking that thing off the shelf because it's already shelf warming, and you know, stuff like that. So it's, again, you just got to look at it from a case by case standpoint, and it's tedious as hell, but it's worth it to make a good group run. So.
Cool. So one more comment before I have another question. Shiba Kobe on YouTube. A number of years ago, I got a friend a Jetfire Generations that they couldn't get a hold of. They reciprocated with a titanium sweep, and we considered it a fair trade with no payment.
Good for them. Awesome. It sounds like if everybody's happy, everybody's happy. That's a win.
Well, I mean, I've offered to you guys many times for that Walmart that I go to that is, you know, like all old people. You know, I've taken back because the toys are so stocked there. But I take
Sounds
pictures.
like a magical place
For these guys. Yeah, I take pictures for these guys. Like, hey, do you guys need anything? You know,
I've never seen anything from you, Toy War. I think you're more like.
No, it's back
Toy
before.
Where are you from? I need to make a road trip.
Florida. I'm in God's waiting room.
I'll be down in November. We got a
God's waiting room. Oh my God, I've never heard that. My sister lives down there. I am going to burn her ass with this. No, I have this place.
She's in Florida. Her ass is already burning.
That's right. I have
it was 94 degrees today.
Yeah, exactly.
One of the plants that I have to go to, but I don't go to it, but like every 3 or 4 months. And every time I go there, it's like what he's talking about there. This is a small community. I don't know why there's a Walmart there. And the community is like 2,500. But they have a Walmart right across the street from this factory. And it's all old people. There's not many kids. There's not even a school system there. And this Walmart, every time I go in there, the toy aisle is like got cobwebs on it. So I found a Grimlock 6 months after he,
That's awesome.
quit selling in this area on the shelf.
That's fantastic.
It's like, hey, I can hook somebody up with that. My daughter now has it on her shelf.
So as we've talked about scalpers and the groups and everything, a question for you, Chris. When did you get into Transformers?
At the beginning, my grandmother bought me an Optimus Prime around Christmas of like 84, 85. It was one of those 2 years. You know, nice. It was from the beginning, and I still have. I've gotten out of most of G1 at this point. I've kind of broadened my horizons as far as that goes. As far as vintage goes, I've gotten out of most of the G1 stuff. I'm still a humongous GoBots fan, so I'll never get rid of my vintage GoBots. But I do have that Optimus Prime still that my cousin went and grabbed that very night and threw it over her shoulder and broke the front bumper. And so I still have it, day one. It was out of the box, broken bumper, the whole deal. And I still have it. It's beat to death, but it's one thing I'll never sell. Yeah, I've gotten mostly out of G1, but I've been in it, as far as the toys go, I've been in it since pretty much day one.
How big is your GoBot collection?
I have basically I have all of the US releases as from Super as well as the smaller ones, and then I grab every machine robo that I can find that that I can afford, because those things get pretty dang pricey. And whenever I can. And also I'm big on variants, so I have like a lot of international variants,
The
South
blue leader
American.
one or the white crasher. Yeah.
I have I have 7 different versions of Leader 1 in 7 different colors, because some of them are from they're like Glasslight from South America, basically knockoffs, but they're really high quality, so they look pretty legit the way they're built and everything, but they're in cool colors, like an all red Leader 1. And there's like the Japanese best 5 sets that come out that have come out, where they're like 5 different characters that have been released but in different colors. Like there's a red Crasher that I have, and a yellow or a black Copter and stuff like that. So there's some really cool stuff out there, and it's just it's something that I gravitated towards, from that scale, because that stuff is, a lot of it's like around 1/64th scale. I was big into Hot Wheels and stuff like that, and I've actually recently just fallen back into that rabbit hole again. Hot Wheels and
new or vintage Hot Wheels,
new premiums and stuff like that, and Johnny Lightning and stuff like that. So that's been a nice revival in my collection there as far as that goes. So so anything in that kind of 160, 164, 172 scale, Diaclone, those guys that know me in the group, Diaclone, the reboot line that have recently come out, not the vintage stuff that's like idiotic as far as how expensive it is, but the new stuff that's also slightly less idiotic with how expensive it is. I've been neck deep into that stuff. I mean, well, here, got the new ground Dion.
Oh
tanks.
my God, you got the pants.
Yeah,
Wow.
got the pants. I got 2 pairs of pants actually, and I got 2 tops on the way coming in the new year. So I'm really looking forward to that. So stuff like that, it's wild. It's pretty fun.
Yeah, those are so expensive.
Chris,
They're
didn't you make
releasing this giant robot in 2 parts. The bottom half, the pants are already out. The torso is not yet out. So this is like a Unicron tier thing that they had to release in 2 chunks.
Yeah, and the final robot's going to be roughly the size of like Titan Metroplex, just from a scale standpoint. It's a big boy, and the playability is just off the charts. There's all kinds of just doors and panels and all kinds of stuff just you can do with the Dionauts and like the ships that come with it and the whole thing. I mean, it's phenomenal. So it's like there's only so much money you can earn. So you gotta do it. You gotta do what you gotta do that's going to get you the most bang for your buck. And so basically, like the G1 stuff kind of went out the door. I was also just scared to break it at the end of the day, and those, a lot of it was in storage. So I'm like, I'm going to sell this stuff to collectors that actually are going to appreciate it and display it. And I've had my fun with it. The stuff's been around for years, so that was cool. And I've kind of shifted. I went through and cycled through like Masterpiece, and those take up so dang much space, and they're so dang expensive what they are. Gotten out of those, and I'm in like the Legends scale, because it's basically like Masterpiece, but closer to that, again, that 160 to 172 scale range. That's can be kind of I like crossing over and using all kinds of different things to create dioramas and stuff like that. So it's
So
been,
what do you think
it's
about
been a lot
the
of
New
fun.
Age stuff?
New Age is, well,
You can probably see it in the screen right there.
New Age is phenomenal.
Look at his screen.
Let me show Freakenstein's
there you
for
go.
a moment.
There you go.
So that's my New Age, and
That's
then
fantastic.
this is Pangu Toys, and I just put the Legends or whatever you want to call them, core class or whatever, with these guys.
Beautiful.
And then, but
These things are
I
so
got the
fun.
bug. I got the bug, and I love this part.
Oh, it's so fun. It's just
Right.
amazing.
That's so awesome.
I got my Omega shelf. Got some MFT, Huge Dragon, the Pangu, both in blue and yellow. And then New Age, I have the blue and yellow. I've got a couple blues actually, and then I also got the black Mechabot version, as well as the purple Decepticon one. So so it's trouble. It's trouble.
Yeah,
But, hey, I'm paying the mortgage, so that's all that matters. So
I'm addicted.
Now, Chris, did I see a post? You got the don't you have the Masterpiece Retroplex coming?
yes,
Did you make that post?
I pre-ordered that Lewin Resources or whatever the name they're going off, that 4-foot tall Metroplex. I'm like,
Why is it
I'll
named
regret
that?
it
It's
if
like
I
a
don't.
corporation.
and yeah, it's such a weird name. But
Hey, they're
4 foot tall
Optimus Boss.
Metroplex, it's going to be amazing. And I just told my wife, we have a minivan. We have 3 kids. We have extra seats in the minivan, so he can just sit out there. So it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
So another comment from Manny from Facebook. Some people have to understand that most of these stores, you don't see the figures you're looking for, is because they're still in the back and they're so short-handed they can't get to them. Now, to that comment, another one of our members, Calvin, he has called that out in some stores, and in terms of either, in a sense, they have the stock in the store, but there's a certain date they're supposed to put them out, or they have the stock, but then either one of the staff members is buying it out for everyone else, or they don't want to bring it out to the people on the floor. So then in a sense, like now you're dealing with the store kind of quote unquote being a scalper, or just being unfair to the public market, where it's like you want to go buy that character, the staff is holding it out for you because they have their friends who want to buy it, or they buy it out, try to sell it online to anyone else, not realizing what's happening.
I've told you all this before, but let me tell Chris this. Our local scalper, his wife is the general manager of our Walmart.
How convenient.
Oh, well, there you go.
How convenient.
Yeah.
How convenient.
This conspiracy runs all the way to the top.
With the other. One has nothing to
No,
do with
not
the
at
other.
all.
What do you even think?
Not at all.
Come on. Yeah, no, my attitude. Yeah, that's it. Well, my attitude with that is, I do my best to try to, if there's something that I know is out, if I see I'm not going to go and be that guy and try to, snake them from another section and try to get them to go into the back. But if I see them like kind of milling about the toy aisle, that sort of thing, I'll be nice and respectful and say, hey, I'm really looking for this one. Do you mind taking a look? And 9 times out of 10, in my experience, they do, and it's all good. But the other thing too, it is in this game, I mean, just patience has served me so well in this, because there's always just keeping an eye on the page. It helps that, I'm the admin of a, major group, so I get to see a lot more than probably most. But, just being able to kind of look out for stuff and say, oh, hey, that's a good one, and they're selling at a very fair price. That's awesome. I don't mind paying a late tax if it's something that I can't get, because at the end of the day, you pay a little bit of a late tax. That's less than the gas you're going to spend going to 19 Walmarts.
Right.
It's all about the economics of it all.
Is that what we're calling it now?
That's it.
Damn, I'm paying a lot of latex.
Well, then that just means you don't have to drive so much. That's it. So it's all good.
Yeah.
So
what I buy, you can't. I can't drive to Walmart to get anyway.
Yeah.
That's it.
I'll gladly pay bonuses at like TFCon or something, like a bit of markup, because I'm like, well, now I don't have to go looking for stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that's my thing. There's there's some other lines again that I'm into, like the Star Wars Micro Galaxy and all that. And Jazzwares is the one that puts that out, and they're horrible they're literally the worst with distribution, worse than any complaint I've ever seen about Transformers. And then on top of that, they do rares and chases that are just impossible to find, that for a $15 ship they're selling online for $300, and it's like stuff like that. It just pisses me off. But you know what, at the end of the day, you live. There you go.
X-Wing and TIE Fighter from them.
Then
none of the other stuff ever came out, so I was just like, well, I guess I got 2 things from this line, and that's it. So
that's what you got. So
yeah.
That's what you got. I mean, I actually got a whole shelf of those ships too, right there. So
lovely.
Yeah,
Wow.
And so they're awesome. I mean, they're fabulous. But it's one of those things. It's like people get worked up about their collections, and it's like I just try to. I used to be that way too, and I just kind of got to the point where it's like, okay, I got to redefine my priorities in life, and like I'm here to have a good time. But the second the collecting starts making my blood, my blood pressure rise, it's time to maybe rethink what I'm doing here. So,
where in your house do you have that display, that stuff displayed?
So I have a downstairs office. So I work from. I'm lucky enough I get to work from home 3 days a week, and I go into the office 2 days a week. So my office is down here, and it was this whole room up until recently, but we've finally gotten to have some construction done with the house and revamp some things, and so my wife moved her office into here as well. So I had to put some things in storage. So, but we're making do. It is what it is.
Cool.
Honestly,
Well,
30
on
by
that note,
30, Chris.
I'm going to cut out early, and it was nice to meet you. I'm going to definitely look for the link for your channel because I know Spin will put it in there. But you guys have a fun week, and
see you, freak.
I'll see you. A couple of you, I hope, at least for on Wednesday when we go live again. So thank you for that, Spin. I appreciate it, and yeah, I'll talk to you guys all soon, and enjoy the rest of the show, guys.
Later on, man.
Take care.
Peace.
It made the perfect grid, the perfect Brady Bunch grid, no longer be like perfectly aligned.
A cat was saying bye.
Now that's going to bother my OCD. Thanks for that.
Oh, sorry, I pointed that out.
So Mr. Gonzalez on Facebook says a counter to that is sometimes the stock boys are the ones holding things back so they can keep or sell too.
I want to
Nothing you can
respond
do
to
about that.
I had a feeling this was happening all the time, and like it was in my head. Oh, it's got to be the guys. They know where they're hiding in the pallets, right in the back corner. So I got a job at Toys R Us. Of course, I had to get the boys section and the night shift. So I'm in complete control of all the Transformers, and I put every single Transformer out. And there was never like too much that I couldn't put it on the shelf. It never came into a case where like there was some in the back or somebody's hiding anything. There was always what we had was on the shelf all the time.
Same. I worked at KB Toys. Same at KB Toys. Yeah.
Well, it's interesting because I know from previous conversations, and I'm not sure whether it's either location specific or country specific. Because I mean, when I go in most of the WalMarts here, like you look at the entire staff, including those that work in the toy and the game department and the management. Maybe one person out of the entire staff of that store might even know what a Transformer is. Whereas like everyone else, I'm just like, this person is not, has no idea what these toys are. To them, it's just a toy. They're not really going to be that in-between problematic person.
Yeah, I try not to fault them too much because I try and keep that in mind. I'm like, they don't care. They're just trying to get through the day. They don't know about this.
They don't.
Exactly.
Yeah. You think about the guys that the jerks that return things in the wrong box, and I actually saw that for the first time in person. I couldn't believe it. It was like two of the. It was the boxes for the Legacy Evolution Sideswipe and Dead End, but they each had crosscut stuck in the box. Wow. And then there was a fully ripped, like the whole front of Mirage's box was ripped off, and there was I think it was like an RC or something like that in there. It was the most idiotic thing, and it most definitely, even to like the non-initiated observer, you could tell that the thing in the box was not the thing that was on the picture of the box.
It's funny because
they took the return, they put the things back on the shelf, and it's like. Wow. Yeah,
it's funny because Crosscut hasn't shown up in my area, so if somebody swapped out the Toxitron things for Crosscuts, I'd be like, huh? I'd ask, like, hey, this is the wrong thing. Can I get it for a discount?
Yeah, he's shelf warming everywhere in my neck of the woods. I see him at all the Walmarts and Targets I go to pretty much, so he's around. And that's probably another one of those things. It's like it's a regional thing. They get a lot more in some places than others, but yeah, so...
So Shiva Kobe on YouTube says 7 Studio Series 86 sweeps were shelf warming for months. Suddenly now there's only 3 or 4 shelf warming right now. And
that seems to be universal.
And what you do is wait for them to get clearance, and then you army build.
That's it.
I think I feel like when it comes to collectors, what happened, my theory is that nobody knew they were going to do the sweeps. So the people that Army built just bought a lot of Scourges when Scourge came out. Mm-hmm. So when they did the sweeps, there was probably less interest in collecting them by the type of people that would buy like 4 or 5 of them. That's my theory.
I was guilty of that. Because I bought 5 of them at first because I wanted 4 sweeps, and then I was going to paint one of them a little bit darker to be my Scourge. Mm-hmm. And then lo and behold, here comes Scourge. And so I bought that, and then I put the other 2 out. And then I got to thinking about it. I was like, you know what? There were 7 of those in the series. And so I took them back down because nobody was interested in them. And now I have 7. Okay. And the only reason I know there were 7 is because in one of the, I think it was Series 4, Transformers, they actually call him out as sweep number 7. Do this. And I think it's one of the scenes
I remember that actually.
But they actually call out sweep number 7. So that's why I've always said there were 7. There was at least 7 of them.
So Shiva Kobe has a comment that says, "I have a titanium AT and just recently got a small PVC AT-AT to use as its baby for Outback's knockoff Crocodile Hunter show, the photo comic."
Congratulations.
So, Chris, how much G1 stuff shows up in your group?
A good bit. Yeah, a good bit. There's actually a lot of really well known experts in the community in G1 specifically that are in the group. I actually there's everything. That's the thing. We're not just Masterpiece, just G1, just whatever. It's every line, and there's every generation, and that's what's cool too. Because you got a lot of guys in there that are not from the '80s, whose first line was Energon or Armada or whatever. There was Cybertron trilogy, that sort of thing. That's their G1. We got some guys that are Beast Wars. They're just huge on Beast Wars. That's cool. Hey, great. More power to you.
I was asking for a reason.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You would enjoy Liberated for work. I promise you.
I actually was gracefully accepted. I apparently passed the test.
Passed muster.
But I haven't checked it out yet because I'm literally saving the money for TFCon. I know if there is G1 stuff in there, I might get in that group and get my wallet in a lot of trouble before TFCon. So I gotta wait.
There's everything. There's everything in the group. It's dangerous. It really is. So thankfully I've gotten to the point in my collecting career that I'm I feel like I've had pretty much everything. And it's we've gotten to the point where I have basically the latest chug scale stuff, pretty much all the characters that I want, and I feel like they'd have to do something pretty extreme to get something that's even better than what we have. I feel like we have kind of the most top of the line version of each character out there. So I feel comfortable with where my collection is, and it's not like I'm sitting there wanting and going oh shoot, I need to buy everything. So that does make it better, but it was a process getting.
What's that like?
It's a process, man. It was such a process. So it's So it's one of those things. Yeah, it's a process.
We're very much in an era where if you collect in the new G1 guys, it's all about little marginal improvements. So if you don't care about the marginal improvements, you can check out past a certain point. That's what I think, at least.
You're exactly right. That's kind of where I'm at. We've got versions of characters, a few of them, just replaced Brawn. Brawn just came out with, there you go. Great figure. I actually really like that figure a lot. My stand-in for him was the Power of the Primes Brawn. So that's up for sale now, stuff like that. Yeah. And so that's cool too, because as you're cycling them out, you're kind of, you sell something eventually, you get part of your money back for the new thing. And it's not like you're totally out the full $25 or $30, because that's the other problem is the prices on these dang things are just idiotic anymore. For retail stuff, it's just $35 for a Voyager. I remember whenever we were paying $20. I sound like an old man saying that, but geez, come on, guys.
I remember too.
Yeah. So
you guys complaining about the prices of your new ones after I just spent $1,200 on a card of G1 Bumblebee. Yeah. Okay. Keep complaining, guys. Yeah.
I blame the scalper that sold it to you. Well, no, I'm just kidding.
No, it was a good deal. A local toy show, or a local toy shop buddy of mine owns the shop. He says, well, that's a good price. I can confirm it's real, but the last one we had in was graded and it sold for $3,500.
Wow. That's crazy.
So I think I got a deal.
You did okay. Yeah, you definitely did okay. Yeah, that's a whole other ball game, man. I actually recently, I said, I've been clearing out some of the G1 stuff. I have right now I actually have a G1 Grand Maximus that I have listed for sale. That I'm working on getting out the door. But we'll see how that goes. Sold a Fire Guts, Jinrai, not that long ago, the Hobby Orange exclusive. I was surprised. I mean, that thing went pretty quick, and it was $750. So I mean, that stuff just goes, and it's real money. I mean, it's real money, and so it's like, cool. Hey, if you guys can appreciate them and enjoy them, more power to you. You do it. That's it.
I'm like
whatever
small
G1
scale in
stuff you
terms
got-
of those things, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I just want to poke one of those one time, and then just to say I did, and then
That's it. I checked the box. I was like, okay, I've gotten this one. I've had it in my
Yeah.
collection. It's been here for a while. Like I had a G1 Overlord that was my grail for forever. Finally snagged one of those. I kept it for about a year, and it's funny because my friends will joke. You know, they razz me all the time about it. Like, okay, well, I'll take it whenever you sell that thing in a year or so, and I do. You know, it is what it is. But you know, it's like it's one of those things. Okay, I've checked that box in my brain. I've had it. It's great. I enjoyed it while it was here. Now it's on to the next guy. So you know, it's cool. It's fun. That's part of what the fun is, because then I get more money and I get to go buy the next thing that I've been pining after on my want list.
Cool. So let's run through the comments. Shiva Kobe is from our earlier part of what we were saying. We had a serious problem with Pokemon card scalpers at my local Walmart. This problem was solved by putting it all in locked cases.
I've seen it. We have a locked case in one of my Walmarts now too because of that. A lot of Star Wars and Marvel Legends in there.
Same with my stores as well.
Shiva Kobe also says, I saw a G2 sideswipe at my local Walmart lately.
Did you get it? Speaking of middlemaning, which is what I call it, if somebody can middleman that to me, that'd be great.
Mr.
I'll take a look
Gonzalez.
at Walmart when I'm there Wednesday.
Cool. Mr. Gonzalez on Facebook says, where is 86 Snarl?
I saw one in that same Walmart that I was referencing like a day or two ago. Contact me on Facebook. Maybe I can middleman it to you.
I've seen about 2 or 3 of them at my Walmart today.
Shiva Kobe says, Scourge never showed up at our area. I had to order him special via Walmart to CMD store, and it cost me $100, but I don't regret that one bit.
Scourge.
Like Studio Series Scourge, or I guess based on the discussion.
Yeah.
I just the other thing TFCon's great for. Like I missed my shot at getting him at retail because he was there and gone, and then I just picked him up at the convention like several months later because several people just had him there for sale, not for $100, but for like retail or slight markup.
She also says, my brain is trying to gaslight me that I saw Red Knockout, but I know I didn't because I would have bought him. And to answer your question, Fear, no, I didn't get it, but if I see it, I'll grab one for you. And it is the Studio Series.
Yeah. I grew up on Generation 2, so this line of like gaudy 90s neon repaints based on that is like heavily appeals to me specifically.
Yeah, totally.
Here's the Mirage that I got.
They're cool looking.
Yeah. It's my idealized set of Transformers, really.
So we usually have a handful of questions. It's 9:30, so we have about half an hour to go, and we usually have a handful of questions that we usually ask.
Haven't seen that Grimlock yet.
Yep, Mr. Magnus is teasing you there.
Yeah, I don't have the Studio Series tooling either because I have Masterpiece Grimlock, so like I also want to get that yellow Grimlock both to have the tooling and also just to have the cool G2 version.
Well, Calvin actually threw a post on Instagram that he got the yellow Grimlock as well.
Yeah.
This is the new one that I got this week.
Oh, does he have... Okay, people have been saying a bunch of the nacelles have a mold release substance on one of their wings. So I'd be curious if you popped it out if it's there or not. It looks kind of like glue. People thought it was like fungus, but they're like, no, it's mold release.
Interesting.
Well, Shiba Kobe says if the G2 side swipe is still there, so I guess she will get it for you. Mr. Gonzalez says I couldn't do the Pikachu Grimlock.
No. He's not Pikachu Grimlock. He's Greymon Grimlock. If you know your Digimon.
That's right.
Professor D says I got 86 Snarl.
Nice.
So Chris, you did mention that you were able to get your Holy Grail. One question we always like asking all our guests: are you a bot? Like, do you prefer taking your Transformers out the box, or do you like to keep them in the box?
As soon as they arrive, they're out of the box. That's it. There's no point otherwise. I mean, there's no reason to keep them in their plastic prisons there. So
I'm a both. I buy them in pairs, and if they're triple changers, then I buy them in triples. And if they're combiners, I buy them in triples. But I like the box look, I like the bot look, and I like the converted mode. So I do all of them at once.
Yeah, I always say that, like, with standard action figures, sometimes I can understand keeping them in the package because you're seeing what you're getting. But with a Transformer, you're, like, getting, at best, 50% of the experience if you're not taking it out.
That's why I buy them in multiples, so I can do both.
Yeah, I don't have that kind of space.
So, Chris, I want to ask you.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Okay, so I don't see anything on his wings.
That's good.
Anthony, I don't see anything on his wings.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious. It would be on the front. So you got a good one then. No weird mold release stuff.
Nice. Okay, so Chris, you have such a triumphant collection there behind you, and you said you're very satisfied with your Transformers collection right now.
Mm-hmm.
What would interest you to add a new addition to your collection? Is it something like a masterpiece, a Legends, or something that fits? Like you said, you have limited space there. Like what criteria?
Like I said, I mentioned earlier, like
Metroplex.
4 foot Metroplex. But here's the thing. There's a reason there for that, because he actually is much closer to Legend scale for a Metroplex. So then like say Generations or Thrilling 30 Metroplex, that sort of thing. So there's a reason for that. He's going to be a gigantic 80-pound city mode on top of a table, for like my Diaclones and stuff that's in that, and Legends and stuff that's in that scale. So I mean that's really it. I mean, like I said, the scale is going to be key, just because it's like technology, the manufacturing, the engineering has gotten so good. And then you factor that against, okay, well, like a good Legends figure costs $40-50 generally on average, give or take. Where when you have retail stuff at Target selling for $35 to $55 anyway, I'm going to probably go with the Legend stuff. It takes up less space. It's more like a masterpiece anyway. And it's just awesome. So, and it's basically, and I focus with the Legend stuff. I do focus more on the G1 stuff anyway. So I've kind of like replaced my characters from G1 on the shelf with those, with the best versions. And so I've swapped them out, as time goes on. Like New Age came out with some stuff that, like their Ironhide, their first version of Ironhide and Ratchet were, they were all right. They were fun. They were fun toys to play with. They weren't like the most, they weren't the most accurate, like screen accurate figures there were. My favorite in that line, for like Ironhide and Ratchet is New Age. I mean, they nailed it. They absolutely nailed it. Even like the version 2 New Age, I don't even know what they were thinking with those two. Like, because they're just boxy and panely messes, comparative, and it's like they're supposed to be improving upon things, that sort of thing. There you go. Yeah. And they're fun toys and everything, but the New Age stuff, that they knocked it out of the park with the design on that stuff. So it's all about not only bang for your dollar, but also bang for the space that you have, because that's probably the biggest problem I have, is just having enough space to do all the things that I want to do and enjoy, and actually enjoy it, because I hate having things just sitting in storage. It's like I want to get them out of the box whenever I get them from Big Bad Toy Store, from whatever Show Z or whatever other place I order from. But I also don't want to put them in a storage box either. I want them on the shelf. I just grab them like as a fidget. Like I'll sit there and got my my trusty Piss Magnus right here. New Age right here, and he's great. He's a lot of fun, and it's just something to fiddle with. When I'm sitting there watching TV with my wife or whatever. It is what it is. So it's cool.
Something in your desk, eh?
Yep, exactly right.
Yeah, right on. Cool, very interesting. And
my wife jokes I'm on the phone with a client or something like that during work, and I'll be sitting here fooling around with a Transformer or a Diaclone or whatever when I'm in a meeting, that sort of thing. But they
I
can't
always say
tell.
it's like
all good.
if you ever need to explain it, it's like, well, some people have stress balls, some people have Rubik's cubes.
It's a
this is
fidget.
what I'm doing.
It's a fidget toy, man. That's it.
Yeah.
That's
is.
it. It keeps me calm, keeps me focused, and all that. So I do my best work with a transformer in my hand. It's like Tom Cruise in A Few Good Men. He needs his bat. So that's how it goes.
Cool. Michael Orlati, another one of our members, who he actually started the Facebook group initially, our Children of Primus group, and then I jumped in and kind of carried it on and brought it to where it is, and both of us went to high school together.
Nice.
And which is funny, at the time I had no idea that he was into Transformers. Many people who I realize are into Transformers now had no idea they were into it back then, or it was one of those things, it wasn't cool to mention that you were into like nerd stuff or toys and stuff like that back then. But he says he got his 86 Snarl, and Mr. Gonzalez on Facebook says, in a box as of 2 years ago. Nowadays, I'm slowly opening my stuff and appreciating more. Had a storage theft 2 years ago. They robbed me of 30 years of collecting, so I open my stuff now. Everything they stole was minted in sealed box.
That's a sobering tale.
That hurts. That hurts. Oh,
yeah. I'm sorry to hear that.
That kills me.
Yeah, my sympathies.
And Professor D says, I made my debut in 86. Oh, wait, that was Raquel. The old school hip hop reference. Professor D and I actually used to have a hip hop group together back in the day, and he too also went to high school with me. Shiva Kobe says, I could have gotten a Studio Series 86 Snarl, but decided against it. There was only one at Walmart, and it went soon. I'm making do with the power of the Prime Snarl.
See, I just went full core class mini Dinobots, partially because they combine, but also partially because I'm like, that's a good way to get all of them in a small format. They're up on a top shelf over there now.
Yeah, another good one with the Dinobots is if you don't have a ton of capital to devote towards them, you can generally get the full set of 5 of the Dinobots, the MFTs. They're upscale versions of the DX9 War and Pocket Legend scale for generally around $100 for all 5 of them, and they're awesome. They're really good figures. They're really good figures, and I think the MFTs actually scale better as Dinobots. I feel like they should be bigger than the other. Than the other Autobots for sure, like bigger than Optimus. And so, DX9 runs a little small, but those MFT ones, you can get the full set for $100, and they come with a boatload of accessories like weapons and swords and guns and all that stuff, and they're fun. They're a good time. So, go that route too. If you run across a set, jump on it. Just give it a shot.
Cool. Professor D said, just too much money for what it is.
About what?
Yeah,
say that about a lot of things.
Exactly. Yeah, specify which part we were speaking on. And also, before I get to the next comment, everyone watching, please like and subscribe to our channel. While Sedum Bach Arts has a talking talking character in the screen. And another question from Michael Arladi: as a Canadian, going to start collect knockoffs, much cheaper and being built better. Your thoughts?
To define a knockoff in this case, because that can mean a lot of things.
Well, I mean, like we have that conversation a lot in the group too, like knockoffs versus not knockoffs, that sort of thing. I mean, a knockoff is something that just you're taking the mold, you're taking the direct design, and either upscaling it or just making a direct same size, duplication of that figure. That's a knockoff. But then there's other stuff people talk about, like taking the IP and like New Age making their own design, their own engineering for Grimlock. Yeah, it's a Grimlock. There's no question about it, but it's not a knockoff. That's an original design. But to Michael's point, knockoffs are dang good nowadays in a lot of avenues. I mean, yeah, there's the stuff. There's like the Happy Meal toy type stuff that you would get, back in the day from some part of the other side of the world. But nowadays there's some good knockoffs out there too that make it really worthwhile. Like Diaclone is a good example. Like at MechFans Toys, MFT also did some Diaclone mech suits. I mean, they did some of these guys, where like a Diaclone suit this size is going to be like $40 for one of these things.
I remember those.
You can buy them for $10, and the quality is exactly the same. You know, so you can't go wrong with some of that stuff. So it's all about doing your homework. And again, that's what groups like Liberated are for, to ask the questions. Hey, who has experience with this stuff? You know, and people more often than not have an answer. They're like, oh, avoid it like the plague, or oh no, buy them up. That's it. No sweat there. So it's cool.
When I first joined Liberated, when I first started getting all my stuff out of storage because we bought this house. It was going to turn this one room into my Transformers and collections room. My biggest thing was I didn't know there was such a thing as a knockoff. And especially when you get to like the masterpiece, the KO masterpieces and the real masterpieces. And when I joined, it was to ask people, because a buddy of mine was already a member there, and he was like, man, come on to this group. He said, if you can get through the door, you can ask any question you want, somebody will be able to answer. And so I got in there, and as I said, so how do you know if it's real or if it's fake when it looks the same on the box?
Yep.
And that's when I started learning all the things about, the Transformers logo itself, or the wording of Transformers, how it's written on the box, the lines in the cardboard. That was the thing that just kicked my ass. The lines in the cardboard run in a different direction on a KO and a real masterpiece. And so that's when I started, whenever I started dealing with stuff, I was like, okay, I need a close-up picture of the box. And then that's when communication stopped.
It always amazes me just the sheer number of different knockoffs out there that were all the way back to the 80s. Like the sheer number of like different styles, like of Optimus Primes that are out there and stuff that have been around for decades, and some of those knockoffs are worth ridiculous money.
Yes.
That's the amazing thing to me, and it's like the thing I love about the hobby itself is that there's always something new to learn. There's just too much for any one person to know. Going all the way back to the beginning, it's really cool.
Yeah, I remember there's a famous.
Here's a question that just popped into my head, and maybe this group could answer it. Mm-hmm. What's the difference between a knockoff and a third party?
Oh, we were just talking about that. Yeah, a knockoff is like a direct. Like our thought is, knockoff is like a direct copy of like a mold. So if you have, like for instance, another company, I can't remember the name of it, did a direct copy of Grimlock from New Age, and they're selling it as theirs. That's a knockoff. There you go. That's and. It. Yeah, but then there's other, but New Age taking that Grimlock and the IP that belonged to Hasbro or Takara, that's a third party because it's original design, it's original engineering. It's not just taking the toy that was originally made and just making your own copy of it or upscaling that and selling it as your own. So there's a difference between the actual taking the mold and versus creating your own mold, basically.
What's the answer I was looking for?
Cool. So
I live to serve.
Professor D says, co-sign MFT dinos and all things MFT.
Amen to that.
And Mr. Gonzalez says, I wanted to get Robosen Grimlock, but he's shorter than Flagship Prime, so not for 1,500.
Those things are cool.
Would be the start and end of it for me.
Oof. Yeah, those things are cool, but they scare the crap out of me, honestly. Like the second you spend money on it, one of those motors is going away, and stuff like that. And that was the other thing, like with Robosen Prime, they immediately, I want to say it was right after they started taking payments for backers, they immediately came out and downgraded how many motors and the capabilities of it. Oh, so it was almost like, I felt like it was almost like a bait and switch. So, it's one of those things that was like interesting. I'm like, that's real interesting that they would do that after people started submitting money for it. I'm like, nope, I'm good. I'm going to steer away from that thing. It's cool to look at and all that, but yeah, no.
If anybody here hasn't seen it, I highly recommend Thu Adams' review of Robosen Optimus Prime, in which he experiences existential dread over it. I think that's pretty much the last word about it.
Wow.
Basically.
Famously, they sent it to him as a promo, like hoping to get some social media influence. He released this document of his dread about it, and then they asked him to take it down, and he said no.
No, I did hear you say asking about the War in Your Pocket dinos, and this is them.
There you go. Yeah.
War in Your Pocket is the best name for one of these little Legends guys companies.
War in Pocket, so good.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're fun toys.
Yeah,
They're really good.
You get all 5 of them in one package for, I think I paid like $87 for one. Then shipping. So right at 100.
And that's 100 American for anyone listening. Cause,
right.
So about 700 Canadian.
About 700.
Well, it's the same for like with the Grimlock. As everyone mentioned with the Robosync Grimlock, it's currently $1,500, and I think it's going up to about $1,700 next month. But that's all in American prices. For us, once you convert it and add tax, we're looking at almost $2,800 for this Grimlock.
Plus shipping.
Yes.
Plus shipping. Yeah, shipping is not in there.
That was the big source of Thu's dread, and it hits again with this Grimlock, where he was like, "Who is this for?"
Listen, my girlfriend bought me my Robeson Prime, so that was a birthday present one year.
Ooh,
she's a keeper.
So the answer is it's for her to give to you.
I promise you. She's smart, and hang on, let me make sure she's not watching. She's not. Okay, so. I can scan the other computer and see what it's on. This shelf behind me, this is actually my overflow shelf. This is stuff that I have multiples of in box, it's trade stock, and whatnot for me to get pieces I don't have. On the other side of it, there's a shelf that I call the Amanda shelf. And it's where she's like, "Here, baby, I bought you this," and this is the answer she will always get, "Baby, that's the one I've been looking for. That's the one I've been looking for." But this is why I have 6 others. This is why I have 5 star strips.
We've had issues in our household where my wife tried to do that, and unfortunately, she always overpays. Like, she bought something off of Amazon, it was like 3 times the price of what it should have been, and I'm like, we're gonna return that. It's the thought that counts, but I'll find the same one for a fair deal in the group, and we'll go from there. So so she kind of gave up on that one.
This is usually stuff that she finds at clearances or at Ollie's.
Nice.
And she's like, "Oh, I saw this, baby, so I thought maybe you'd like to have it." I'm like, that's the one I've been looking for. That's the answer to the show. I can't believe you found that. You got a cheat.
Attaboy.
Mr. Magnus is located in the states of like this weird Bermuda Triangle where, for everyone else in the world, a character could be like $50. For him, it's like $4.99.
Yeah.
Yeah. First, let me ask you this: do y'all have a store in your area called the Gimme 5 store?
No, we do not.
It's an Amazon return store. And it's just where all these stuff that gets returned to Amazon, and you can go in there and you just load up your bag. You're not allowed to open anything over the bin, but you can go on the sidewall and open up the boxes and see what's in them.
Oh my gosh, that sounds amazing.
Oh, it is. It's a lot of fun. It's like a treasure hunt. But I found all kinds of Transformers there. Our Goodwill here is stocked with Transformers all the time.
That's amazing.
And most of them are broken or really, really well played with. But I just brought on here, I got an oversized set of the Terracons. The combiner, the Jim Bow Terracons. And the box said robot dinosaurs. On the cardboard box, they thought I gave $5 for the complete set.
That's fantastic.
I found a complete Unicron, Armada Unicron, with the little planet, all the rockets, all the missiles, everything for $5.
That's so good. Oh my gosh.
That makes me. I see a lot of posts in the Stomper groups of guys finding Stompers at Goodwills, and so I swear to God, that stuff keeps me up at night. It's like, oh look, I just got $800 worth of Stompers for $5. Oh no! I'll wake up in a cold sweat. And just,
There's one guy in one of the other groups, like it's a general toy group that I follow, and I swear to God, he lives in Value Village. And he just shows his hauls every other day because he goes in there like all the time. the stuff this guy finds. I mean, you could pay off the national debt with the stuff he finds in this freaking Value Village, and it's like everything is just cycling through there. It's bonkers. It's absolutely nuts.
Oh, that lady that joined us about 2 years ago, whose brother passed away, and she was selling his collection.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh! So I got a few of the pieces in here from that, but the stuff that she had,
incredible stuff.
If she would not have reached out to this group, she'd have got taken like her. She didn't know what she had. She didn't know what his collection was.
Storage units upon storage units of stuff, and
LBS and estate sales.
And she would, she took really good pictures of stuff. She's like, I don't know what this one is. I don't know what these guns are. It's y'all help me out. And everybody just go, oh, well, number 1 is this, and 2 is this, and 3 is this, and 4 is this. I tell them what it goes to.
I just love the post, like her and her daughter, who previously had no interest whatsoever in Transformers. They're sitting there around the kitchen table trying to figure these things out, and they're transforming them, and they're packing them up, and they're taking pictures, and they're doing what they need to do to, honor her brother's memory and everything. It was really cool. That was one of those things that actually we were really, really pleased, to the point where we actually let her post up his G.I. Joe stuff in the group too. And we didn't do that for anybody else. So, it was one of those things. There was I was really happy that we were able to help her out.
Yeah. And the boy with autism.
Donald.
I say the boy, the man with autism. Yeah, Donald.
Yeah.
I always love his posts. He is so excited about whatever it is. I mean, this guy is just grinning from ear to ear as he's making these pictures and putting them out there.
He lives 15 minutes away from me, so I met him.
Oh, really?
When I met him in person selling at a toy show. I had a table at a local toy show, just getting rid of some extra stuff, and this kid just comes rolling in. There you go, side swipe. This kid comes rolling in, and he's deaf as well, and so he doesn't communicate other than sign language in person, and just this dude shows up at my table and starts going through my bins. And I'm like, oh, hold on, what are you doing? And he's like, transforming it. He's like, nope, I don't like it. He throws it over his shoulder. He goes into the next one, the whole deal. And his mom comes over and calms him down, because he's excited as can be, and he can't control himself. And that was the beginning of Donald. So the kid's a riot. He's something else. So, but yeah, no, he's good people. I'm glad the group's taking care of him.
Yeah, he always makes me smile.
Yeah.
Anytime I see a post that says, "Hi, my name's Donald. I'm 26 years old, born with autism." That's how every post that he makes starts.
Yep.
As soon as I read that, I'm like, "Oh, this is gonna be good." It's just a light of my day. All right, let's read through this and see what he's posting this time.
That's
nice.
That's it.
RJ Eagle on YouTube, also a old high school friend. I agree with you, Mr. Alati. I started buying the Masterpiece knockoff Transformers, sometimes called Takasa.
Takasa.
All right. And Mr. Gonzalez
Tony.
has it asked a question, Team U for Transformers, yes or no?
If you like knockoffs.
Have patience, and you will finally get them for $5 a piece.
Yep.
Have patience, and it will eventually pop up, and you get to do the spinner, and you'll get it for 75% off, and you'll buy it for $5.
Yeah, how many people are already passing off the G1 stuff they got up on Temu as original and trying to get the prices out of it? It's ridiculous.
I love. There was a guy a year or two ago. He was selling the knockoff G1 Grimlock in box, and everybody just dragged this guy for miles because it says on the knockoff box, it says Dinobot Bowmander instead of Dinobot Commander, and okay, so that's legit. He's it's as real as it gets. Yeah, Dinobot Bowmander. I'm like, oh, okay, guy, you don't know what you're talking about.
Wow.
So good times.
Cool. So as we're getting close to the end of our stream, is another great evening. A couple of questions that we always like to ask everyone. Actually, I guess one question is, what's your favorite Transformers media in terms of show, comics, or films, and why?
For me, it's Transformers Prime.
Nice.
I enjoyed all 3 seasons of that, and the story was cool, the animation was cool, and the toys were damn cool. They were really, really good. So yeah, if I had to pick one, yeah, would that
Best Ratchet?
Yes, yes.
I needed that.
I needed that. You know, plus the voice actor Combs, Jeffrey Combs. I mean, between him doing that, and then I just gotten done seeing him in like Star Trek and everything like that. He's awesome. I love him. So that was just icing on the cake. So yeah, Transformers Prime for me.
Cool. Mr. Gonzalez also agrees. Transformer Prime rules, and funny enough, like just a friend who worked in music, who knew that I was into Transformers, he asked me if I was watching Prime, and I didn't know that the Prime series was out. The moment I started watching it, I'm like, this is a good series, and I mean, like, I've always been attached to G1 from a kid, but I really enjoyed the Prime series. I enjoyed Wheeljack, with the record version of Wheeljack and Ultra Magnus.
Is that the one where they called him Jackie?
Yeah, I love that.
Jackie.
Mm-hmm.
I love that mold.
Yes, it's a fantastic
that Prime mold and that Ratchet.
Yep.
With the knives.
Prime's the one
James
and the second Viacon, who's pretty much the top of the car, folds up into his shins.
Yeah,
that one's really
edition.
Good too.
Prime's the one that aired on HUD,
that's the second one. You're right.
It's the second one that's the legs fold up. Because the first one is the one exception where normally the first editions are normally better, but that Viacon is one of the few exceptions to that rule.
Yeah, you're right. I agree.
Yeah, I have a particularly fond memory. Many years ago, Jess, my fiance, binged all of Transformers Prime, and sent me a video message on her phone being like, Anthony, Ratchet punched Megatron in the face, and then Megatron was like, nobody makes me bleed my own blood, and then he punched Ratchet back. Oh my God, what is going on? So yeah, fond memory of that show.
That's awesome.
Because I'd already watched it, she binged it, and so she like sent me that message while she was watching it. Yeah,
I remember a few Christmases ago I got him, but
oh yeah, Hubcap. Excellent.
Hubcap.
Got one over here.
That was
perfect little sports car guy.
That was a sleeper hit in the scout class right there for sure.
Yeah.
Well, my dad used to drive one of these, and so I bought this for him, and I'm going to paint it up to look like the ZZ Top car.
Yeah,
the Eliminator.
Since
red G2.
And I'm going to give it to my dad. And my dad's not going to have any idea that it's a Transformer until he looks at it. He's going to like, why does this thing got arms and legs?
It's always great.
Hey, Anthony.
Yeah?
Anthony, this is that Sideswipe I painted it in Rubido colors.
Oh, that's what that is. I could tell it was a custom. Oh, that's a good looking idea for one.
And what I did for the gun was I just painted it, the tip mainly black, and the back bit mainly silver, and then I'm not going to transform it right now, but you can imagine them being transformed, and that would be where the G2 figure's gun would have been on the back hood.
It's a good shade. It's a good set of colors.
I mean, they use that sideswipe mold for literally everybody. So I mean, I can't believe that thing.
Yeah, I got them from. I got it from like one of those places that gets like random toys for cheap, and I bought like this from one of those. No, not Five and Below. Like one of the clothing places.
Oh, like Ross or TJ.
Ross. Yeah, one of those places.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some treasure.
Oh yeah, that's another good store we have here is Ross and Ollie's. Do you have an Ollie's in your area, Chris?
We have Ollie's. Yeah, we have Ollie's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the the B-movie cliff jumper from Ollie's.
I remember when Ollie's had Titan Fortress Maximuses, and then they had Titan Tripticons there, and so it was $50 for each one. It was crazy. Those were the days. So, well, gentlemen, I have to sign off, but thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. This was a lot of fun.
You're welcome.
Great meeting you all. Appreciate you.
Yeah, great meeting you all, guys.
Thank you for everything that you do for our site.
No, happy to.
Liberated.
Happy to. Really, I love it. So, no, thank you guys. I really appreciate it, and thank you for having me. This was awesome.
Oh, thank you for being here.
I'll catch you in the wood, man.
Well, take care, guys. Have a great night.
Yeah, take it
easy.
All right,
take care. You too. So as we slowly wind down for the night, going through the comments. As RJ Eagles asking, speaking of Transformers Prime, the original Prime Skyquake or the new Legacy Skyquake?
Well, the original Prime Skyquake was a tail ender that was really hard to find, so I'm gonna go with the new one just because you can actually buy that for like retail price. I just like like Orlotti, who isn't here right now, had he tried to get all of the Transformers Prime figures, and that was the one he couldn't get because it was so hard to find.
Wait, that's the green one or the blue brother?
The green one.
Okay, yeah, the blue brother is at my comic shop, the original.
Yeah, even though they were on the show, like the green one was first and the blue guy came later, they released Dreadwing, the blue one first, and then the green guy was like a late series repaint that didn't get much distribution because of it.
Yeah. I saw there was one comment about...
Sorry, go ahead, kid.
The green one was the one that was in one episode before he got killed, right? And then the blue one was trying to avenge him towards the end of the series.
Yeah,
or the first or second season.
Them the other way around for whatever reason.
I was saying that someone commented about Takara Transformers Prime figures. I didn't see too many of them, but when I did, like for example, like this Viacon is a Takara one, and the difference with those ones is it came with like these clear plastic accessories.
She has opinions.
She has to say she's part of the show too, right? Yeah. So yeah, I would like to know if anyone has those Takara Transformers. Do they all come with these clear plastic accessories?
Yeah, they do. That was like the line-wide gimmick. They all came with arms microns. I have their Unicron here, which only came out in Japan. Based on his like rocky giant form on the show. And I don't even know how to do it these days because I never like transform him, but this thing can change into a little guy as well. So yeah, like they all come with these little transforming model kit companion characters. It was just something they were doing at the time, like model kits are popular, so the Japanese releases, every one of them had one of these guys packed in.
I think that's a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and they kind of did similar. I mean, not to the extent that you put them together, like in Prime, but their versions of Titans Returns, you would include the little Titan Master figures.
Yeah, same idea.
Like Prime concluded the Microns, and Armada concluding a lot of them, including Minicons.
Yeah, the big thing about the Transformers Prime ones was they tried to do like a little bit of a model kit thing, so they just came on the sprues and you had to clip them and assemble them and sticker them up yourself.
Yeah.
Trying to sort of hit the Gundam demographic, I guess.
Exactly what I was thinking when I saw that.
So RJ Eagle says, guys, sorry I joined a bit late, but was the general consensus on scalpers? What was the general consensus on scalpers? Do we love them? Which Shiva Kobe then replied, no, we don't love scalpers.
Let me tell you about the one positive experience I had with scalpers. This will only ever happen under these really specific circumstances. Chevrolet Aveo Swerve. It's a very rare Transformers figure. It was not available at retail. It was only available if you test drove a Chevrolet in certain parts of the world, or if you were like there for a promotional thing. Goes for mad money online, like hundreds of dollars, right? For some reason, yeah,
Jesus,
yeah. I know. It's a very
the
normal
car. Man in Tor Warp is dying inside.
Yeah, but yeah, for some reason,
it's like if Chevy made a Yugo. I'm sorry, continue.
So for some reason, a stash of these a couple years ago, 2020, I think, just showed up in like a dollar store in Ontario, just in a bin. People think the speculation is maybe because this was a promotion that apparently also ran in Ontario. Maybe somebody who buys for the dollar store stumbled onto some unused stock or something. So there was a guy on a Discord group I'm in, the Transformers Wiki one, who was like, I'm just going to go there and buy all of these up. And they cost like $3. They were selling this hundreds of dollars item for $3, right? And so he bought them all and he's like, I'm going to sell these for $25 a pop. Because that way I'm going to make money off of it, and it still costs way less than spending hundreds of dollars for one on eBay. And I was like, you know what? Fair. I'm in. I'll pay your $20-ish markup for this extremely rare figure that, through a freak circumstance, I'm now going to get to own.
Markup.
Yeah. That's the only time I had a positive experience with a scalper. They're a very specific set of circumstances. Because he was like, my profit margins are vast on this.
Wow. So let's see, RJ Eagle says, oh yeah, I had to get that Chevy on eBay. Good one. I got them on the release, probably from someone who bought it from the dollar store. And I got them as well.
Yeah. If this was like 2020, 2021, it was probably from that dollar store stash.
Wow.
Because like there was a lot of them, and one guy just bought all of them because they were like $3 a pop.
Oh, why not? So as we start wrapping up the evening, so I want to remind everyone again, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Next week we have Artist Stan, extended cut from the Transformers 1986 the movie. So extended cut 1986 Transformers the movie, September 24th. We're gonna do a Transmutators watch party. October 22nd, Bot versus Con. And also, let me get the date. I believe September 13th, Freakenstein's brother, we're going to do a live stream of him doing a live sketch drawing. So I'm going to have like all the information of that coming out soon. And Professor D says, when Prime needs a ticket, no matter the cost, sometimes a scalper is his best friend. So there.
Yeah, valid.
So as we wrap up, going through everyone, Bill, Mr. Magnus, what do you have? What do you have coming in shipments for this week?
The kids here this week. I've got. Let me just close that page. I've got the shrapnel, another Brawn, and the Titan Decepticon ship I'm drawing with blank on the name. Nemesis. I've got the the Alita 1 version of Nicey coming from Shozy Store. And I've got something coming from Hasbro Pulse. Oh, I've got the Tripticon or the Senticon box set from Hasbro Pulse.
Nice.
Damn.
Oof. God.
Cool.
So hopefully that'll be something we can display next week.
Yeah.
Nice. Charlie C is quietly hiding there. What anything coming up for this week?
I got Fans Toys Pipes that should be arriving hopefully tomorrow. I just recently bought the Fans Toys. The aerial bots are out from somebody that needed some money, and I got the Decepticons that are out. So I just got those yesterday. So I haven't really messed with them yet.
By the way, the bird's eye view makes it look like I'm looking at security camera footage of your room.
Mr. Siedenbach Arts, what do you have coming up for this week?
Trying to think. I'll hopefully finally get my Entertainment Earth order, my Motor Master. I think they did the pay. The pay went through the Tuesday after the last stream, but I only got the email about them sending it out like maybe a day or two ago. Trying to think, what had they been doing? I think they're starting to make some Halloween stuff, like craft stuff for the art store that I do stuff for. So I'm getting a head start. I think I did like 2 bookmarks, and I had the Headless Horseman. So I guess I'm on that subject matter right now, outside of Transformer stuff. I might draw some of the character. I've gotten to Raid's Shadow Legends recently, and a friend of mine's from high school that we were in art classes together. He's giving me tips about it, but I might do some fan art of some of the characters from that game that I'm more attached to because they're the characters from my first full party. So I might actually get some of my own artwork that's hand drawn, not just the photos of stuff on that either of my 2 Instagrams, maybe, possibly.
Nice. Shiva Kobe says, I will cross my fingers that nobody picked up that G2 sideswipe. Anthony, maybe you'll find something to straight up trade for it.
Yeah, maybe. Send me a message on either Facebook or Twitter or whatever. Let me know what you need.
And anyone that wants to get a hold of any of us, all of our contact information is in the description of all of our videos. Over to Deceptikitty, anything coming up for this week? Well, your mic's off.
That would help there. Okay, thanks. Last week, I convinced myself I'm going to get that Flame Toys RC re-release there. I had such a crazy week. Like, it's been so overly eventful, like too eventful. I'm just picking up. So the next week is going to be a redo again of the previous week, and I think that's about it. This week I'm ordering is that RC Flame Toys. I can't wait.
Too late, Con.
These guys always showing up like when we're about to head out. Shiva Kobe's asking, Anthony, what's your Facebook/Twitter?
If you hit me up on Twitter, it's at or courage. Apparently, they didn't let me put the fear in at the time. Yeah, so it's just or courage. All one word.
Or you can get a hold of them in our Facebook group too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. I am in there.
Over to you, Mr. Toy Warp. What do you have coming up for this week?
Nothing on Toy Warp this week, but this month is going to be apparently Days of Thunder month on the Cruisers Motorsports channel.
I've noticed a theme.
I'm going to be releasing some more Days of Thunder content before the big Forza game drop happens in October. I cover a lot of the Forza stuff on Cruisers, so when the game drops in October, that's pretty much what I'm going to be focusing on. So it's going to be Days of Thunder stuff this month. Yeah.
Cool. And Fear of Courage, what do you have coming up for tomorrow?
Yeah, one of the rare times I don't look at a Transformers thing. I picked up an Ultraman vinyl. I'm not usually a vinyl guy, so I wrote a little blog post about it from the perspective of somebody who doesn't usually do this kind of collectible. To see what the appeal is there and what that's like. That'll be coming out on Monday. Future things I have on the docket to write up are, of course, Studio Series 86 Brawn.
He's great.
Studio Series Freezer, who's currently attached to the back of Scourge because he can turn into a gun turret for him. And I mean, after I've written enough Transformers content, probably I'll look at this figure art of Kamen Rider 01 that I just opened because he's really cool and I feel like talking about him. Again, shout out to Anime City Toronto, like I said at the top of the stream. Whenever I'm looking at something that isn't a Transformer, I always write it from the perspective of, I only do this Transformers usually. This is what this other thing is like.
Cool. As FREAKENSTEIN has jumped back in, and Mr. Michael Oladi. So we're not going to stay too late, as your name says, too late, Con. But what are you saying? How are you doing?
Man, I came to talk about GoBots.
Oh, you missed the GoBot discussion.
Yeah, we had a big GoBots fan on the show.
No, crickets, man. Holy crow. We got Mr. Turbo.
Time delay.
Like,
Mr. Electric Boogaloo Turbo. And Spin knows what I meant by Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah.
And Mr. Sidekill.
Yes, we all know about Breakers too.
That's right. Yeah, well, you know what? Since you guys are plugging something, well, I've finally written an article on my Hockey Needs website. You can go to their hockeyneeds.com about skating treadmills. Are they worth it? It's about training and stuff like that on these treadmills that are made for skates, help your stride and stuff like that. So if any of you hockey heads out there, go to my website, check it out. it's not too late. You can always catch me there on Hockey Needs or on Children of Primus. Make sure you hit the like button, notification, and all that stuff. Are you trying to be a leader one, Mr. Magnus?
No, I'm a crasher. I'm a crasher party.
Because she crushed it.
And then I'm going to scoot away.
Scoot away.
I gotta scoot away. Oh, no, you got scoot.
I'm scared. Did you read that GoBots comics from a few years ago? I know my high school friend Dash Shaw, he did some alternate covers for it.
Yeah, I've talked about those on the show before. Anybody that likes GoBots should read that. It's weird. It's not for everybody. Tom Scioli is a strange author and a strange artist, but I recommend everybody at least give it a go.
GoBots comics?
Yeah.
Yep.
IDW did a miniseries a few years ago. Yeah, I have a trade. They just did him as a trade.
Yep.
Tom Scioli, who also did Transformers versus G.I. Joe, was the writer. He's a weird guy. All of his stuff is like Silver Age comics on purpose. Like, that's the aesthetic he goes for.
Cool. RJ Eagle says Turbo in the house. So we're gonna do 10 minutes, and then we're wrapping up. Shiva Kobe says, "Okay, great. Following that, I'll be in town tomorrow, so I'll go see."
Mm-hmm.
Well, Mr. Oh, sorry. Actually, Freakenstein. Go ahead.
No, I just wanted to talk about again a little bit of the knockoffs, right? It's just that the fact that being Canadian. Sir?
He froze.
You froze.
No, he's there. I think there's probably a bit of a delay. Actually, yeah, could continue what you were saying, Mike, and then we'll go over to Freakenstein.
Yeah, they're the glitch. No, you know what? Go to Freakenstein because he was waiting patiently, so he hasn't said anything.
It's the Matrix.
So
is he frozen as well?
So I got a few things coming. Actually, I got that. I think it's called Tiger Wing knockoff of New Age's Menasor, and I also have the battle damaged New Age Devastator coming. So those should be fun to do little couple videos with. I just finished doing the comparison video for those two Omega Supremes, and I added a little bit of stop motion into that. Tried out a new program. It's something I got to work with, that's for sure. But things are getting better, and I'm learning new stuff, and that's all that matters, I guess. And you got to check it out on my channel if you want to see.
Cool. Which your channel is in the description. So
Nice.
Anyone that's looking for any of our separate channels, they are in the descriptions.
There's your GoBots.
Is that a GoBots playset? Is that a GoBots
Yeah,
playset?
I actually have that.
Yeah.
What? Crazy.
Yep.
Yeah, and there's Puzzler
I
on
actually
the
have that. I
left.
actually have that playset.
But what's on the right? I don't recognize that one on the far right.
That's that motorcycle one that I showed y'all that I found in a box.
That is awesome.
It's like 5 different motorcycles, and they all form that robot. But they don't turn into robots themselves. It's just motorcycles turn into this combined robot.
So it's a Power Ranger type combiner.
Cool. Interesting.
Right.
I got a whole video up on Toy Warp of the GoBot collection.
There's
too.
actually another.
Yeah, it's a good one. I've seen it before.
Yeah, there's actually all the GoBots to wear like a power suit kind of thing, and they actually form a combiner as well.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was trying to find.
And there's a white one for the Guardians. There's a white one for the Guardians and a black one for the Renegades.
Yeah, I've got a couple of the Renegade ones still on the card.
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I've
I have a
never
couple of the white
seen
ones.
I've seen the white ones. I've never seen the Renegade ones.
It's on my video.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look that up. Yeah, it's almost as if the cartoon focused on, or at least there was always the focus on the white one and never the Renegade one.
Well, weren't they kind of like the answer for Zod, the big 3-wheeled beast?
No, they
had?
They killed Zod off long before the power suits came along. That much I do know.
But RJ Eagle says, "Wait a sec. Do I see a
So I guess
McDonald's
we're gonna have to
command
do
run
a-
in there?"
Is that what that motorcycle thing is, Eagle? I don't know.
Well,
Like I
there's-
said, I found it. I got it in a box of stuff that I ordered for. I got like a lot off of eBay, and it was in it. And I knew that they all went together because they were all in one great big Ziploc bag. And I was like, well, this has got a fist on it. So then I just started playing with it. I was like, oh, look, it combines.
I still have my McDonald's command runs, like all 4 of them.
Well, is that the red, white, and blue ones?
Yeah.
I have those.
There's some Happy Meal from Wendy's, whatever they call it. There was actually GoBots released in their Happy Meal too. I got some of those.
Interesting.
Awesome. I love the camera shelf there.
Yeah.
Children of GoBots.
Yeah, I have a thing for cameras. I used to have a website called Shutterbugs Addiction.
So many reflectors.
Have you seen that Canon? Is it a Canon DSLR Transformers crossover?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a real big fan of those. And I love cameras. They just look like ass. Are you talking about the ones that have the big camera lens coming out of the Optimus Prime's chest? And,
Yeah, it was Optimus Prime. Yes, that's the one I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's pretty sick camera.
And Professor D says,
Speaking of
let's make
commanders-
MP-style McDonald's command runs, which would be interesting. And considering one of, that
Well-
one leader one looks almost like leader 1.
I was gonna say, speaking of Combinder, I think we should combine the show when we should do a show called Children of GoBots.
You can host that one.
Children of
You
Gobotron.
can host that
Everybody's
one. Anthony's less than pleased.
I think I'm gonna have to go to the field that I blew up all my robots on.
Mm.
I'll go find pieces where I blew up all my robots.
I regret not keeping my leader
Probably
one.
still be there. Don't be sarcastic with me, okay? Remember, I'm the head man. You said it.
Which aren't they re-releasing Rock Lords or is there like a new version of Rock Lords
That's
that
the
have come
rumor.
out?
There's a rumor of that.
Oh boy.
The leaked listings, which could mean many things for the next series of Legacy, does include like Deluxe Rock, Core Rock. And people are like, what are they talking about? Is it Rock Lords? Maybe. What else could that refer to?
I'm pretty sure YTV is doing it, or whatever it's called. Fucking that Canadian children's channel.
That's
Actually,
Nickelodeon?
Yeah.
Or not Nickelodeon.
Because YTV
that was YTV.
Or was that canceled?
A couple of weeks ago, whenever I read off
No, they
that
still
league
hold it.
list, the Deluxe Rock and the Leader Rock were in that list.
Yeah.
We were going to later. Now, there's another rumor going around that is actually a playset display. It's
Whoever
a
did
rock
it, Hey
for them
Arnold, and all
for
that
them to
kind of
stand
stuff.
on and pose on.
That feels less likely as a retail thing than a Rock Lord, honestly.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, on that note, as we're going to wrap up for the evening, so again, thank you for everyone that's come through. Big and huge thank you to Chris Labrador from Transformers Liberated to spend the time with us this evening as we discuss scalpers and just all and dynamics within the Facebook groups. And like the video, subscribe to the channel, and as usual, till all are one.
All I want.